Well, friends, we are beginning this program today. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all from across the globe who have joined in today for this International Rotary Peace Conference 2021. Friends, today is the first day of this two-day conference. I am Surendra Sharma from Rotary Club of Chinchwad, and I welcome you all on behalf of my club and on behalf of Rotary International District 3131 to this wonderful International Rotary Peace Conference 2021. I wish to now welcome the dignitaries who have joined us for the first session of this first day of the conference. It is my pleasure and privilege to welcome our beloved District Governor of RID 3131, Rotarian Pankaj Shah, who is our guiding force for this conference. I would also welcome our Councillor for Peace Building and Conflict Prevention, Avenue, RID 3131, Rotarian Pradeep Wagh. I also welcome the District Director, Peace Building and Conflict Prevention, Rotarian Deva Ghorpade. I take this opportunity to welcome all the district office bearers, past district governors, presidents of various Rotary clubs, Rotarians, Rotractors, ads and annettes, and most of all, you friends who have so graciously joined us for this conference. I welcome you all. Friends, we shall begin this program with the National Anthem of India, and I request you all to please be in attention for this. May we have the National Anthem, please? Thank you. I would now request and invite the President of Rotary Club of Chinchwad, Rotarian Dr. Shilpa Gauri Gunpule, for her introductory remarks. President, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Surendra. Honorable dignitaries and my dear friends, Rotary Club of Chinchwad, Pune, India, club number 50476 is a leading club of Rotary District 3131. It is one of the renowned Rotary clubs founded in the Rotary year 1997 with a commitment and betterment of the masses. In its Silver Jubilee year, the club ideated the thought of organizing an international Rotary Peace Conference on 18th and 19th September to celebrate the World Peace Day and to mobilize the varied aspects of peace and the major role it plays in resolving conflict. With the support of our dynamic and visionary District Governor, Rotarian Pankaj Shah, and the guidance of peace building team of RID 3131, Councillor Rotarian Dr. Pradeep Wagh, Director Rotarian Deva Ghorpade, Co-Director Rotarian Smita Vikhankar, the dream of RC Chinchwad Pune transformed into a reality. Rotary is widening its horizons and reaching out to the world with its initiatives like Rotary Community Corps, Satellite Club, and Rotary Days of Service. The uniqueness of this conference is its open approach in making it a Rotary and community conference at the same time. Along with the Rotarians, Rotractors, ANs, ANETs, and members of the Rotary Community Corps, the conference is open for teachers, professors, students, social activists, and citizens across the globe. Through the conference, Rotary Club of Chinchwad Pune is celebrating the Rotary Days of Service on a global platform. I'm glad to share with you all that today we have got total 700 plus registrations from 30 diverse countries and Rotary districts, namely Argentina, Australia, Austria, Bangladesh, Brazil, Canada, Egypt, Ethiopia, Finland, France, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Italy, Iraq, Kenya, Mauritius, Nepal, Nigeria, Pakistan, Philippines, South Africa, South Sudan, Sri Lanka, Tanzania, Thailand, Ukraine, United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, and United States of America. The resource persons from the United Kingdom, France, Austria, United States, and Finland are going to explore the diverse facets of peace-building processes. It is a great pleasure for us that RI President Rotarian Shekhar Mehta is going to give the keynote address tomorrow. RI Director Rotarian Dr. Mahesh Korbagi is going to guide us all. So let us be the music makers and the dreamers of dreams. Let us be the music makers and the dreamers of the dreams. Let us write the success story of the International Rotary Peace Conference 2021 together. Thank you once again. Let us evolve and enjoy through this conference. Thank you.
Thank you, President Shilpa, for the wonderful insight into the need and importance of this peace conference. My dear friends, it is indeed a privilege and pleasure for me to introduce a gem of a person, Rotarian Pradeep Wagh. Rotarian Pradeep is a stalwart in our district in the avenue of peace building and is always ready to help. He is a member of the Rotary Club of Pune Shivaji Nagar since 1989 and has been the president of this club during the Rotary year 2016-17. He has successfully organized the International Understanding and Peace Symposium in 2017, which was addressed by 32 international experts and attended by over 700 delegates. During his tenure as club president, he also completed a global grant project of Rotary Distant Education Program for rural schools worth over $40,000. He has also conducted training programs for over 200 teachers in modern pedagogy and enterprise education. He has been instrumental in instituting a fund for annual Rotary Peace Awards since 2016-17. Rotarian Pradeep has been the Director of International Service and Peace in 2019 and has successfully held the Peace and Conflict Resolution Workshop. He was the mentor for the International Service and Peace Avenue for the year 2021. This year, he is the Counselor for Peace Building and Conflict Prevention Avenue for District 3131 and is a great source of inspiration to all of us. I present before you Rotarian Pradeep Wagh.
Pradeep sir, you have to unmute yourself.
Sorry. Thank you very much for the nice introduction. Good evening from India, good morning, good afternoon to all the people around the globe. Welcome to this presentation. On behalf of RI 3131, I once again welcome you. Let me begin with a small simile. It is that of a spider weaving his web. You may be aware that the spider weaves his web using the spider silk which is within itself. At no point of time does the spider doubt that the spider silk will fall short to build the beautiful embroidery style spider web. It has full faith in that inner provision. Similarly, our own soul has got some inner strengths. There are many of them, but two of them are prominent for our Rotarians, and those are love and peace. In fact, our RI President Shekhar Mehta has once said profoundly that humanity cannot survive without love and peace. In RID 3131, we have kindled this lamp of peace in our hearts and taken care of it very carefully. So in 2016-17, we held the International Understanding and Peace Symposium, as was just mentioned. A great takeaway from it was that there are various facets of peace. One is the UN peacekeeping forces. Then we have environment and peace. Then we have got positive peace. And an important element is track 1 and track 2 diplomacy of peace. This information was given to us by the Ambassador of India, who said that track 1 is the government-to-government diplomacy that is done for peace. But track 2, which is the foundation for track 1, is the diplomacy which has to be done from people to people of different regions and countries, so that there is a very good understanding between them at all levels. And this is the understanding which becomes the foundation for peace. In the same year, we instituted what we call as the Rotary Peace Awards. These are given for 2 types of purposes. One is for people who serve in conflict zones, and the other is for those who do outstanding humanitarian work. Till now, every year practically, we have given these peace awards. First one was to Dr. Vishwanath Karad for his outstanding work in education in the World Peace University. Then was Mr. Yogesh Mathuria, who is an international peace pilgrim, and Dr. Bharat Kelkar. He's an amazing doctor who braved all the difficulties and went to provide medical services in conflict zones of Syria, Yemen, and Mosul. Very great personality. Similarly, club level awards have been given from year to year by my own club, Shivaji Nagar Club. Apart from this, we have been holding Rotary Peace and Conflict Resolution workshops. Here is one which is being taken by Dr. Milind Pandey, our own Rotary Peace Fellow. Then we have also had what are called as the Rotary Peace Walks, where groups of Rotarians have walked through the city of Pune carrying placards of the peace of Rotary. Our district has also successfully sent Rotary Peace Fellows to undertake certificate or master's degree courses. Then came the lockdown. The lockdown which almost prevented any one of us from meeting each other, even today for that instance. But our Rotary spirit did not give up. We continued our peace efforts through the International Service and Peace webinars, inaugurated by PRID Brun Stiles, Chair of Rotary Peace Center. RID 3131, 3040, 3070, and 3292 attended. This led to several global grants. One of them was a very prominent Indo-Nepal global grant. Well, I was talking to you about track 2 diplomacy, if you remember. Under this track 2 diplomacy, we conducted enterprise education webinar series over 4 months during these lockdown periods, from July to October 2020. A series of lectures were taken by our Rotarians from the district as also from outside. And eventually, a business plan competition was held. Almost 400 Rotarians, Rotractors, teachers from India, Nepal, Bangladesh attended. And 23 teams out of these participated in the business plan competition. The whole thing became so successful that we were able to invite RI President Rotarian Shekhar Mehtaji to give the valedictory address and also to present the awards of that competition. What that led to was a wonderful connection between all these countries around us. And since then, we have been in very good touch and performing very good projects along with each other. Let me deviate a little by coming to a small verse which says, "Choga nahi manga tha, maine tujhse e mali. Jo de diya, pehen ke bhatke hum gali gali. I had not asked for this garment, O Lord Divine. What you gave, I wear, roaming alley to alley, pristine, alley to alley, pristine." True to this, my Rotary visits to Rotarians in Nepal, USA, Canada, Singapore, Thailand, and Trinidad revealed to me that though we are embodied different, once we are Rotarians, our goals are convergent. Our goals are convergent in all the areas of the focus areas of Rotary, which leads to good fellowship, service, and peace. Especially peace, I would like to qualify that for Rotary purposes, we talk of what is called as positive peace. This positive peace is what we Rotarians try to achieve through service projects. Example, our global grant projects, webinars of enterprise education, And recently, one of the clubs, RCP Downtown, is helping Nepal to organize camps for LN for artificial hands. So, my dear friends from across the globe, what do you think is the purpose of this two-day seminar or two-day conference? Well, according to me, the purpose of this International Peace Conference is that there is a hope that will serve to create Rotary gangplanks between all the districts that are participating, all the districts. And with that, we will be able to hopefully identify convergence of fellowship, service, and positive peace based on the examples which I've already given to you. And for this, we have got a wonderful lineup for you. RI President Shekhar Mehtaji is going to talk with us tomorrow. Then RI Director Dr. Mahesh Kotbagiji is going to speak with us. Pankaj Shahji is going to speak with us. And a wonderful lineup of speakers from UK, Canada, Australia, France, Finland, and what have you. All of them are going to enlighten us fantastically about Rotary and peace. So with this, wait a minute. I didn't expect this. Who's that? Yes? Oh, there's a peace dove. I was not expecting that. And you want to talk something? What do you want to tell us? Oh, he wants to give us a message. I'm surprised. What is the message, sir? Okay. I'll pass on that message to this international assemblage. Definitely. Thank you, Mr. Peace Dove. Thank you. So the Rotary Peace Dove, the Peace Dove has given us a wonderful message, which says the more we come together, the happier are we. The more we come together, the happier are we. And I'm hoping, my friends, that through this peace conference, we'll all come together and be able to build a peaceful, happy society. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Rotarian Pradeep, for her extremely informative and motivating speech. May I now request our District Director for Peace Building and Conflict Resolution, Rotarian Deva Gorpade, to share his thoughts.
Good evening, dear friends. I am Rotarian Deva Gorpade from Rotary Club of Pune, Sinhagad Road, RID 3131. This year, I am serving as the Director, Peace Building and Conflict Prevention. Under the guidance of District Governor Pankaj Shah, we have designed various programs. This is one of the program. Again, we are going to have such kind of conference, but it may be in presence. So hope this conference goes well. I'm very happy to give best wishes on behalf of my entire peace team. We are having huge peace team which is involved in various activities in our district. This wonderful event, International Rotary Peace Conference 2021, this is organized by Rotary Club of Chinchwad, Pune, India, and Rotary District 3131's peace team under the leadership and guidance of DG Pankaj Shah and our entire event team. They are always with us to make any event successful event. It gives me great pleasure to welcome all the speakers from all over the universe. I am very happy and looking forward for their speeches, which they are going to highlight current situation and importance of peace. This conference agenda is full of knowledge, message, and incredible takeaway. Those who are going to participate, they are going to get never expected outcome from this conference because we have speakers from all over the universe. We all are going to enjoy various talks. Nobody thought that how dance can help to understand the peace, but here our President Shilpa and her team have put an efforts to show and link Bhagavad-Gita with peace, dance with peace, and we are going to enjoy all these events. I'm looking forward for big success during this conference. Therefore, I wish all the best for each and every speaker, presenter, and participants who are going to get benefit. So one and all, once again, I wish all the best and success to this international conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rotarian Deva, for your best wishes and guidance and the good words of inspiration. Thank you very much. Friends, this brings us to the end of session 1. And without further ado, we shall begin the session 2. I would like to welcome the chairperson for this session, Rotarian Jenny Hatanaka from Brazil. I also welcome Ms. Shireen Kulkarni from Finland, and I would like to welcome Dr. Kalika Uttarkar from Dallas, Texas, US. Friends, at the end of each session, we shall be taking questions from you addressed to the faculty and the resource persons. Therefore, I would request you to please put your questions into the chat box accordingly. I will now request past President of Rotary Club of Chinchwad, Rotarian Anaga Ratnaparki, to please introduce Rotarian Jenny to us. Rotarian Anaga, please.
Thank you, Surendraji. Greetings of the day to one and all. Haven't we all wondered at some point of our time, what could life's journey be if driven truly by the virtue of peace? As we all step into this journey with little awareness, but immense curiosity, we are privileged to have Honorable Jenny Hatanaka here to enlighten us further, understood by a broader spectrum. So through the medium of this conference today, I greet Jenny Hatanaka. Jenny is graduated in pharmacy and biochemistry with specialization in clinical analysis. She is well versed with Japanese and Portuguese languages. MBA in General Administration and Finance from FIAUSP and Dom Cabral Foundation. Jenny has worked for 32 years at Banco do Brazil, South America as General Manager. She is a Rotarian since 2003, President from 2005 to 2008, and RC Sao Paulo Cambuchi, and member of RC Sao Paulo Sudeste District 4420. She is a founder of Rotaract and Interact Club Sao Paulo Cambuchi. She has graced a district chair of Rotaract and has been an assistant governor and district chair of Youth Exchange Program too. She was multi-district president in 2011 and 14. She is a major donor and Paul Harris Fellow. Jenny has participated in 11 international conventions and speaker in 6 pre-conventions. She is graduated in piano and loves classical music too. Presenting to you Jenny Hatanaka. Now I hand over the charge to our chairperson, Jenny Hatanaka. Thank you.
Jenny, you have to unmute yourself. Hello, Jenny. Please unmute yourself.
Hello, sorry everyone.
It's okay, thank you.
Good evening from everyone. Good morning from our guests too from Brazil. And thank you so much for inviting me for this great conference. Sorry about my voice, but I'm cold. I welcome all the attendees to session 2, and I want to introduce Mrs. Shireen Kulkarni in this moment. She's a founder and research director at Council for Creative Education, Finland, researching in the field of creativity in education for more than 20 years. Research areas: creativity in a school environment, a comparative study between India and Finland, narrative teaching techniques, Indology in the light of modern education. Firmly believed in creativity as a life skill. Experienced teacher training and psychologist at core. Writing in newspapers, magazines, and research articles. Edit free books. Of Creativity, a compilation of international studies. In Search of Creativity, a compilation of international studies, part 2. Creativity in New Normal. Worked with AIDS patients as a counselor. Recipient of Golden Human Award in 2015. Recipient of the ACDF Earth Literacy Award in 2020. After to read this marvelous curriculum, I invited Mrs. Shireen Kulkarni to present the topic Peace Through Creativity, So please, Mrs. Shrinkani, the floor is yours.
Hi, Shiri.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, got the permission. Yes, thanks a lot, Jenny, for kindly introducing to everybody here. So I thank the Chinchwad Club for inviting me to this wonderful conference. So peace has got an immense value considering human life, and most important conference I have attended ever, I must say. So today we are going to discuss and see how we can reach peace through creativity. As you read in my introduction, I am very passionate about how we can reach, how we can use creativity for exploring different facets of life. So these are my points for discussion for today's evening. Creativity as a therapy. Why do we lose our internal peace? That's the first point. How does creativity helps in regaining it? Individual creativity for internal peace, collective creativity, benefits of collective creativity, and nurturing creativity as a life skill. So I'm going to talk about all these points one by one. If you have any questions, please feel free to put it into the chat box. Maybe in the end, if we get some time, I will answer. Or even if we don't get any time to discuss it over here, I will try to answer it in the chat box itself, because I understand that we are in a strict time limit. But I encourage everybody to put their points, viewpoints, comments, and questions in the chat box. So why this sentence is there, that creativity as a therapy? Because like I have been studying creativity for a long time, and I found many books where creativity has been written as therapeutic value, like it has a therapeutic. Why? Because it heals people from within. There are certain therapies related to that. I have written those here, like art therapy, dance therapy, music therapy. So in this picture, you can see that there is a soul actually, and he is expressing himself through the art therapy. Now, why we need these kind of therapies is because most of us are going through some kind of life situation where we cannot handle it, completely. So we have to have some kind of help where we can understand first our mental state, and then we need to express ourselves, and then we can find the solution for our challenge or for any problem that we are facing. So that's why we need these kind of therapies to help us. We can go to the next slide. So second is like I quoted about the dance therapy. So here you can see that the therapist is helping somebody to, to attain a pose. Now, why dance therapy is important is because it kinds of, connect our body and our mind in a present moment. So whenever we talk about peace, we talk about the present and the present moment. So that's why it is crucial that we understand if there is any stress in our mind, then there is a stress in our body, and vice versa. So if our body is stretched unduly, then our mind is also stretched. So we have to understand the harmony between the body and the mind. And dance therapy helps us there. I know that there's one more full session about dance and peace, so I won't talk much about that here, but I just wanted to talk about the therapy value of dance therapy. Yes, the next slide, please. So then we talk about the therapy. I'm very glad to know that Jenny herself has graduated in music, and she has learned, as I heard from her introduction. So we all know that music pacifies our souls, and it pacifies if we, in Indian classical music, especially, we know that we have different kind of ragas for different kinds, which are believed to create different kinds of moods. And there are certain ragas for certain string. So there also we have seen that why they have divided the ragas in kind of times and moods, because they create a certain type of effect. And that effect is therapy. So that's why whenever we are in a bad mood, if we listen to something very peaceful like Ragyaman or Vrindavani Saran, then we feel really, joyful, or even for that matter, Rag Pilu. So whenever we listen to these kind of ragas, then we feel peaceful. But this is like, I'm talking about a general thing, that musical effects that we get. But when you go to the music therapist, the therapist will first listen to what's your problem, and then he or she will prescribe you some particular kind of music. Isn't it amazing that instead of prescribing pills, somebody's prescribing us musical CDs? So that's how we learn through this music therapy, that how we can go towards the peace of mind. Next slide, please. So in the first place, why do we lose our internal peace? So I guess the picture here is depicting that we are always a dilemma of past and future. So we are either in the past or we are in the future. So if we are in the past, we are in the mood of, blaming somebody or blaming ourselves, blaming the decisions, etc. Or we are in the condition of depression. We think about the past, or then we get agitated because of the past sufferings. So that mood. Or we are worried about our future. Okay, what will happen? How will I be able to progress in my career? How will my children do in the schooling? Will they enter into the university that they are entering to? Will they be good? Will they be successful? Will they be rich? Will they be happy? Will they be satisfied? So and so many. So we are of state in the future. So that's why we lose our internal peace, our mental peace. So let's see what happens when we do this kind of creative therapies. Next slide. So how does the creative art expression help us for regaining the peace? First thing is that it gives us a tool for expression. And that's the most important thing, because all of us are not, vocal. We cannot express ourselves just by talking. Some of us need to have some different kinds of tool. And sometimes, even if we are talkative, we are shy for expressing our inner feelings, because we don't want anybody else to judge us on the basis of what we are saying, because whatever we are saying is like only 7% communication happens through the verbal expression. So the 93% which we are not able to express through verbal communication has to come out in some other ways. So these therapies are giving us, or these creative art expressions are giving us the tools, where we can express ourselves completely, at least as much as possible. Then it also leads us to a mental awareness about our state. So what kind of state we are in currently? Are we stressed? Are we anxious? Are we happy? And what are the reasons? Then we try to go into the reasons. Mindful actions we do. Which foot to be backward, what kind of, where to stretch my hand, etc. So that's our mindful actions, and that leads us to being in a present moment. We understand our inner feelings, and we can express things in a beautiful way. It's not in any certain way, but we try to express express our feelings in an aesthetic manner. Be satisfied in your life, you need three things. First thing is the power, then second thing is wealth, and third thing is the aesthetics, the beauty. So these therapies help us, this creative art expression help us going through that. And the most important thing is the releases there. So whenever you are painting, with full concentration, pressure or anxiety or anything like that. So that's the core value that we should, nurture within ourselves now. So this individual creative for internal peace. So I'm going to talk about two types of creativity here, like individual creative and collective creativity. So first about the individual creativity. So we need to understand that creativity and internal peace are positively correlated. So more and more creativity we bring out, more and more is our internal peace, and vice versa. The more and more we are peaceful from within, then more creative we become. So this individual creativity is nothing but your own expression for yourself. So you don't need to do it for anybody else. You are just doing it to express yourself. It can be scientifically termed as mini C and little c. There are 4 types of creativity things that are explored. So mini C, little c, pro C, and big C. But I'm not going into that direction much here. But the important thing to understand is that at least all of us has this mini C and little c, and that is related to mostly the individual creativity. Then when you draw, paint, or cook, bake, sew, write creative text, your brain is active. And active brain is engaged brain. So whenever we are engaged in some kind of creative activity, then our analytical and creative intelligence work simultaneously. That means our left brain and right brain are in sync. So we are working together. This positive brain activation and engagement helps the healing and leads to internal peace. Next slide. Now, I would like you to take you through this concept of collective creativity. So this is something that we should provide attention when we talk about the world peace, or peace in our community. So this is a picture from one of our conference. So at CCE, we host international symposiums on creativity. Every year, we celebrate the World Creativity and Innovation Day on 21st April. So this is from one of the workshops that we held in our symposium. So here, there was a group of 10 people, and then they were making this drawing or painting together. And there were such 8 groups. Those were making this kind of paintings. Everybody got similar kinds of instructions, but still every piece of art was very unique and different. So let's go to the next slide to see the result of this painting. So this is something beautiful has emerged from this kind of interaction and collaborative, collective creativity. So collective creativity is nothing but the community is coming together, and then they are collaborating to create something meaningful and beautiful, just to express themselves. Yes, next slide. So what are the benefits of this collective creativity? First is feeling good about being a part of a community, because as we all know, social animal. That's why we like to be part of a community. We don't like to be alone all the time. Sometimes we like to be alone, but sometimes we want a community, like-minded people. So for that matter is a community of like-minded people working towards a goal, a collective goal. So that's how we should be, we need this feeling about being a part of a community. Then we need this positive engagement with the community leads to positive self-image. So once we are part of something good, we feel good about ourselves. So that helps us in rectifying our self-image or building our self-image. So if we start coming in from early stages into this kind of community activities, then it helps us building a very good positive self-image. It enhances the collaboration within the community. Also, it helps in understanding each other better through the expression. So when we had a kind of, after talk with these people who were creating something together, then they told us that they understood each other more when they started working together instead of talking to each other. Because when you start working together, then you understand what are the strengths and weaknesses of other people. And then you try to, encourage them. Similarly, you understand the similarities and the differences. You also understand that you need to respect each other's arts and viewpoints. Everybody cannot be similar. And that's the beauty, that we are different from each other. Creating something together also leads to collective ownership. So for example, you kind of make a wall painting together, 10 people. Let's say, take an example of a school, because I work in the field of education. So let's take an example of a school. So if in a school, you ask the students to have a painting or paint a wall collectively, will they ever think about destroying it or destroying the painting? No, not at all, because it's a collective ownership that you have created. Next slide. So how to nurture this creativity as a life skill? So I have a formula for this, and it says, say cheese. So cheese is the formula. So how I will explain. So C stands for challenge. So don't forget to challenge yourself on day-to-day basis with very small things or even big problems. But don't forget to challenge yourself and also others. Encourage yourself to experiment. Engage yourself in meaningful activities. It can be anything that you find meaningful for yourself. It might be cooking, it might be cleaning, it might be arranging it. Is the place you are using your creativity unknowingly. So this is something that you should be engaging yourself. Surprise yourself with new ideas, with new kind of material, new books, new music. So surprise yourself and exercise. Now you will think from where the exercise came into picture when we are talking about creativity. But I tell you that this is the most important thing to do, because it helps in secreting the creative juices in your brain. Like we know the hormones, the happiness hormones, the creative juices. So that's why say cheese and keep smiling, because smiling creates again the dopamine in your brain, which leads you towards the creative expression. So I think I should stop here. And there is another slide where you can see some references. If you want to take a screenshot of that and go further deep into this topic. I would like to mention one thing which is not in the presentation, if I have some time. Do I have a 1 minute maybe?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So there is a very profound type of art which has been promoted and encouraged, mainly related to the mindfulness, and that is the mandala art. So if you are unaware of that, then I encourage you to find out more about what is mandala art, and then how you can, incorporate those principles in your life. How can you imbibe this kind of mandala art in your daily life, in your daily drawings, what to as I am so much believer of creativity as a life skill. So let's say whenever I'm in a meeting or a day-long meeting sometimes, or 2-hour-long meeting, then while listening to what people are talking, I try to doodle something. So again, something meaningful activity. So this tinybuddha.com link, which I have given here, is about the mandala art. So I encourage you to go through this article and read more about the collective creativity and individual creativity. Thanks a lot for inviting me on this wonderful platform again. And then whatever questions you people have or comments, maybe I will go through that in the end. Thank you. And just before I end my speech, I would like to make a small prayer for all of us. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani paschantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Thank you.
Jenny, you will have to.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sorry. We got the mic. Thank you very much, Mrs. Shrin Kulkarni, for your wonderful speech about peace through creativity. In a sequence, I want to introduce Dr. Kalika Uttarkar. Dr. Kalika Uttarkar has 25 years of experience in teaching philosophy, conducting life skills corporate training and workshops for yoga and mental health. Currently placed in Dallas, Texas, USA. She studied and shared the intersection of Indian philosophy, yoga, and psychology to explore its relevance to human life in today's age. One of her passion projects were her doctoral thesis on the philosophy of life with reference to the mature 11 Upanishads.
The fact that these concepts are so relevant today. So when this topic of the concept of peace was given, and I had to take it in the light of Bhagavad-Gita, I would say this is the most relevant topic that we all need today on the individual level as well as on the social and the global level. So to begin with, let me give a brief introduction of what Bhagavad-Gita is. So Bhagavad-Gita is a part of epic Mahabharata, and it consists of 700 shloks, and it has 18 chapters in it. Now, this is a philosophical and spiritual and moral content which comes in the epic, which is Mahabharata. Now, the background where this treatise starts is very interesting. I would briefly tell you about the story, the background of it. So, the Pandav and the Kaurav, these are the cousins, and they have had a long stress and tension over the kingdom and who would become the king. But the main tension is not this. The Pandav, where Arjun is a part of Pandav 5 brothers. So he is part of a group where they want to establish truth, they want to develop a welfare state, they want to take care of the society, and they have their virtual dignity. Whereas the other part, that is the Kaurav, they are more into power, abusing the power, and this is something which is called as adharma in the Indian context, in the Indian philosophy. So this is basically two sides where one is of the right and one is of the, what you would say is adharma, or the power or the lust. These are the things which are more prominent and which are more important. So basically, to establish dharma or to establish a welfare state and to think about the welfare of the people in the land, Pandava, these 5 brothers, they have come together along with their allies, other kings from the different kingdoms, and their friend, philosopher and guide is Lord Krishna. So he has become a charioteer of Arjun. Now the situation is the battle is about to start, and the beauty of the time is that the battle always used to start in the morning and it used to end in the evening, and that was the rule, and no fight after the sunset. So there were moral values even for the battle. So isn't this interesting? So before the war begins, Arjun tells Sri Krishna that please take my chariot in the middle of the battlefield, where on the one side there will be Pandav, on the other side there will be Kaurav, and let me have a look
at the whole scenario and the people who are there to fight. So when he's standing in between the battlefield, he's seeing that all over the place, he's seeing there are his friends are there, his family is there, his teachers are there. So everybody, he says, belong to me. And how can I fight with these people? And I don't want to fight with these people. I don't want war. And I would prefer to leave everything, give everything to them, and renounce everything and go back in the jungle and think about my self-realization or whatever it is. So a warrior is ready to renounce everything because he has lost his courage. And he feels that war is of no use. So I am not going to fight. And then he's sitting in the chariot and he's telling Sri Krishna, I don't want to fight. And the dialogue in Bhagavad-Gita begins here. And then it is all about how he asks different questions about his moral dilemma to Krishna and how Krishna answers his different questions. So this is basically an allegory to what happens in our mind. We are often in a dilemma to choose the right over what is pleasant. We often lack the power of choosing between what is right and what is we would say is what is pleasant to us. So how to exercise this power, how to choose, is a constant struggle that is going on in our minds. So basically, Bhagavad Gita, when we try to understand, it is basically understanding our own mind and the battles that are going, the struggles that are going inside. Now, coming to the concept of peace at this background, it becomes more relevant. At the end of the discussion, we would see again how beautifully Bhagavad Gita tells Arjun to fight and win the battle, at the same time practice internal peace and be calm and stable inside. So while we are performing our duties, is it possible to stay calm? Is it possible to stay composed? Is it possible to stay happy within and still keep doing our actions and achieve what we want to achieve, is the main question when we think about Bhagavad Gita. And while doing all this, can we be peaceful? Can we stay at our own, natural state of happiness? These are the questions. So gradually, as the discussion takes up, Arjun will ask many questions to Krishna, where what is life? Who am I? What is the relevance of my behavior? And what is the ultimate truth? So these are different philosophical and ethical questions which come up in the dialogue. So 18 chapters is a feast. So whenever you have time, please go through Bhagavad Gita. It is available in almost all the languages over the globe. Translations are available. And it is said that once in a lifetime, we have to read this treatise because it is a very modern text, because it is very relevant to what we are living today. Without any biases, it is absolutely logical, and it understands human psychology in a very subtlest way. So coming to the concept of peace, it is also called as Shanti in Sanskrit. What is peace? It comes from the Sanskrit root Shama. That is, next slide, please. Shama is to pacify, is to, it is basically, next slide to this actually. Yes, so it is basically pacifying, soothing, and making calming. These are the meanings of Shama. So Shanti is becoming stable, becoming peaceful on our physical level, mental level, and spiritual level. Now, for physical level, we all are living a very sedentary lifestyle, and because of that, our body loses its balance. The diet that we take most of the time is not very nutritious, and these days it moves towards having junk food. So that balance of exercise, health, nutrition is also losing sometimes because of the lifestyle that we are adopting. So most of the ancient cultures across the globe, along with Indian culture, I would say there are many cultures like in the world where the older generations say that we used to be more stable, more calm, and we had a better diet and better balance of body and health. So that is something which is to be achieved. Coming to the mental disturbances and restlessness that we all are into. These days, as a psychologist, I often see that we get many kids with the problem of ADHD. They are unable to concentrate, they are unable to focus, they are unable to memorize things easily. Why? Because there is so much of turbulence in the mind. And regarding the elder people and along with the kids, sadly, now there is the main issue of anxiety and depression and frustration that is increasing over the world. So the thoughts that are coming into our mind, the emotions that we are facing, all this create mental turbulences and this restlessness. So there has to be peace at this level. That will increase our happiness quotient, that will increase our creativity, productivity, and it will really give meaning to life. And the third level is of the spiritual shanti or the peace. So spiritually, we need to ask a question to ourselves sometimes in life that who am I? Am I really the body that is seen? Or am I just my thoughts and feelings? Or am I just a bundle of thoughts, feelings, body? Who am I? I mean, what is the real nature of my existence? These are the questions we need to ask. A very simple question can take us to this route is we all are born to our respected parents. Sometimes, can we ask ourselves, why was I born in this particular house to these particular parents? Why was I not born in the other house next door? My life would have been different. So, every child which comes into a family has a different kind of life as compared to the other child. Now, which factor really creates this difference? Which factor decides where we should be born? Which factor decides which country we have to be born? Is it also accidental? Or is there a cause behind it? See, all these questions are philosophical. And somewhere, sometimes we have to have a self-dialogue and try to find out. And then we have to deal with the daily dilemmas in our life. Now, this handling of dilemmas at different level can take us to the experience of peace. Now, what is the main problem in human life? Next slide, please. Which actually affects our life. It is desire. Where from everything originates, the Upanishads and the Bhagavad-Gita, they talk about desire. It is said that Anukul Vedanam Sukham, Pratikul Vedanam Dukkham. That is, Anukul is something which is as expected, as I want. If things happen according to my desire, I am excited, I am exuberant, I am happy, and I feel, wow, this is life. But something goes against my desire, I am irritated, I am angry, I am frustrated. I say world is not good, people are not good, relations are not working. So anything that goes against my desire is the cause of sorrow. So we all human beings, irrespective of our religion, culture, country, just as we are human beings, we are governed by these two concepts of sukha and dukkha, that is happiness and sorrow. These are the controlling factors of human life. Most of the time in life, we are moving towards achieving happiness. We want to be happy. So according to our thinking, whatever appears to make us happy, we go behind that. So desire is the main factor. This is what Bhagavad-Gita says. And out of desire, two things arise. That is, kamat krodha vijayate. That is, from kama is desire. From desire, anger is the outcome. And from anger, it goes to greed. If we see our human race as we are living today, we would see that human being is being so greedy that we are spoiling the planet, we are spoiling the atmosphere. The lifestyle that we are living is we want more and more, and we feel that more my desires are accomplished, more happier we are going to become. And this is the main point which we really have to rethink as human beings. Does this desire ever end? Do we have any limit to where I can stop achieving things externally? So this external gratification has become the lifestyle, has become the way of thinking these days. But Bhagavad-Gita says that that is not the whole truth. So the belief that happiness comes from external gratification, from external things. So I can buy one car, I can buy 5 cars. I have seen people who have 50 cars. Do we need them? How many houses do we need? How much of bank balance do we need? So we have to decide between our need and desire. And who will decide how much we need? We only can decide for our own self. There is no generalized parameter to decide. But somewhere we realize within ourselves that yes, this is where I can start feeling contented. I can start feeling fulfilled. And then I can concentrate on my inner growth, where I can think about my achievement as a person. Am I a stronger soul as compared to what I was yesterday? And then I begin the journey of having control over anger, because small things trigger me. And then I'm irritated, I'm anxious, and then I say not so good words to others. And my behavior becomes cranky. How does it matter? How much have I earned? How does it matter? How many houses do I? If I'm not being happy in my moment, in my present tense, if being along with me is not a happy experience for the people around me, what is my real success? What is my real achievement? This is what is the concept of peace, which says that samatvam yoga uchyate, which says sama is stability. So to achieve stability of mind, Krishna tells Arjun, you should not be affected by sorrow and happiness. You should not be affected. You should not worry what happens in war. You have to just perform your duty. If you feel you're on the right path, and if you're a warrior, fighting in the battlefield is your duty and you have to do it, then you should not be affected by it. And then only you will be out of the sorrow which you are in now, and you are unable to lift your weapons, you are unable to fight. So just get up, Uttishtita Kaunteya, that is, you get up, Arjuna, and hold yourself and be a warrior and fight for the right thing. This is what Krishna is telling. But next slide, please. But understanding all this is possible only when we go away from ignorance. Now, what is ignorance? Stephen Hawking once rightly said the problem in modern life is not of ignorance as much as it is a problem of illusion of knowledge. What we call as knowledge is sometimes just an illusion of knowledge. We really don't know what we are thinking and what is the base of our thought. So there are few basic things which we need to understand before we move ahead and try to figure out what is peace. First thing is, we have to keep in our mind that everything that is created has an end. We all are so anxious about anything ending, anything going away, anything changing. We want everything to be so static. Unconditionally, it has to continue. My body, I need to continue. I need to look as I am 25 throughout my life. Is it possible? I want to look healthy even when I am 80 sounds good. But if I say that I want to look young as 15, as 25, as 30, even when I'm 80, then I go and do so many plastic surgeries. I feel anxious about it. I'm unable to face people. This all sorrow comes from where? Because I am unnecessarily wanting, changing things to become static. We have to understand this this disturbs peace of mind. Similarly, we want all relations to be very peaceful throughout life. As when we were married and first 6 months, the honeymoon period, we want 50 years to be similarly joyful and happy. But every relation is a process. Every moment it is new. The person in front of us is changing, we are changing. We are learning, we are growing, or we have stopped growing. Whatever the situation, the relations will change. So first and foremost, we have to understand that everything around us is changing, and we have to understand and accept that things are going to end one day. Everything comes with an expiry date. Does that mean that we have to be sorry? No, we don't have to be sorry for that. But we just have to have a smile and say, this is the nature. And just take it with strength. Second thing which we need to understand is that most of human beings will have fear of death, fear of losing relations, fear of losing the stability. This is also when we don't understand that things are going to change, things are going to end. Somewhere we have to realize the nature of the world. And second important thing, which we all need to understand to maintain our peace of mind, is that whenever we are trying to achieve something, we need to focus on the process. We need to focus on the present tense. But it is beyond that, I got a message that we need to conclude in 2 minutes. Is it so?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So when we're talking about concept of peace over here, it is mainly about being stable. That is sukha dukkhe samay krutva. That is whether it be happiness or happiness or unhappiness, we have to stay stable, maintain our posture. The second concept which will help us to achieve peace is practice detachment. And this is what I was talking about. Detachment about the results. If I am preparing for my exam, I should focus on my process of learning, studying, and making it a better experience rather than thinking about what will be the outcome, what will be my result. Now that takes away my energy, that takes away my positivity. And lastly, we should understand that any result is not just within my control. There are so many factors governing the result, and we should respect that. So being happy is being in present tense, being with oneself, and practicing meditation to find our inner self. And this is the way we can have peace of mind. So if all the individuals can have peace of mind, that family, that society will contribute into the world which is peaceful. So Bhagavad-Gita is a place which will give most of the answers to our questions. So take this opportunity to plunge into it and begin the journey of self-discovery. Thank you for inviting me. This is my contact. You can contact me. So, namaste.
Okay, I want to say many thanks for Dr. Kalika for this wonderful speech. And so I want to say many thanks for Dr. Shilpagari Kambuli for District, to our organizers. I want to say some remarks about this speech, about the topic, peace through creativity. And so I like very much because we talk about for different arts can help in creativity. It's not my strong side because the arts is, I think, my sister. And but each one has your own art inside. For example, I play piano. I love classical music, so I relieve then I play piano and take some sound when I'm anxious or I wanted to be happy. So I have my expression and use my creativity also. And each one can use your own inspiration. And so this a sense that can return a good feeling and very positive feeling, by the way. And about nurturing creativity as a life skill, I really like it when she said about keep smiling, creativity expression. I'm working in youth exchange program during 15 years. So I can express to my students that if you don't understand very well something, but keep smiling, and a good smiling can attract the good things for you, and also good friends can receive some good helpers also. So I think this coming then from the soul. And Also, I think you need to use the and thinking about the person in love experience a surge of creativity. If you have feeling inside it, you can write good poems, you can draw and paintings and the like. And so when the attachment towards of love, the creativity also takes a downward trend. And I think this ascension can be bigger and refining and expanding our love to include the entire energies you have around you. And your creativity can use the good abilities you have inside of. And so the ideas that are born, some are beneficial for humanity. And this is my considerations for the first speech. And talking about the second speech by Dr. Kalika, it's about, we're talking about, for example, when you pray for Lord Krishna and to ask many questions to him, but also about behaviors and love, many things around. And I have learned about the concept of chanting and peace. And we all face restlessness. Yes, we have imbalance and disturbances also. And if we are going to dedicate our life to simply following our minds and our senses, focusing our minds in all different sides of the senses, we will not be able to come to the position of experience peace, to be freedom from disturbance. And our dilemmas in daily life, who I am, that she said, ask to ourselves, everything is happening around us and is changing all the time. So we are living in this world. The important thing for us to do is come to understand and appreciate what's the actual goal and purpose of our life. And also she said, keep smiling and being yourself. And that's to find this fulfillment we hope for, to experience the actual happiness that we desire in our heart of hearts, to awaken the natural condition of spiritual love, and to have this very extraordinary and completely fulfilling experience of spiritual love and happiness. So after my remarks, I officially declare the session open for question and answer that will conduct by Rotarian Prasad Gampur. So please, Rotarian Prasad Gampur, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Rotarian Jenny, for your wonderful, inspiring words and your accurate observations. I think we have Rotarian Smita who will be taking the question answer session. So over to Smita.
Okay, I was waiting for permission to get unmuted. So thank you for the wonderful presentations. There are, of course, comments like excellent presentations, soul-searching observations for both Dr. Kalika and Shireen. So a lot of appreciative comments. But there is one specific question for Shireen from Mr. M.M. Rahman. How to use creativity to nullify trauma a child has gone through due to domestic violence. So Shireen,
yeah, thanks for this question. And actually there is of course a big process to go through if you want to somebody not to take out them from trauma. But normally for small kids, play therapy is suggested, or they use certain kinds of dolls where there is a role play, and then they try to understand that what kind of things or what series of events must have happened with the child. And because the children are more toy friendly, they like to enact their feelings. so they can use the toys. That's the first thing. Second thing is, of course, through drawings, like they can make them draw like what they like to have, what they want to do about, then about the relationships, like how is their picture at home, how their parents are behaving, if they have, how many family members they have, which they like, which they don't like. So using different kind of color coding, for example. So they can tell them, like, if you want to somebody whom you don't like, then what's your color that you don't like? So paint that person in that color. So something like that. So there are different kinds of activities and therapies for this kind of problems, but I just suggested something very basic. But the best idea is to go to a psychologist, and then that psychologist can help in this kind of situations.
Yes, thank you, Shirin. I hope, Mr. Rahman, you have got some direction and answer to your question. And we have a psychologist, Dr. Kalika, who can help you if you need to. By the way, Shirin, Mr. Rahman has also posted his email ID. So in case you want, I can pass it on offline to you, just in case you want to reach out. All right, so there are a lot of comments, appreciative comments. I'm not going to read all of them. They are in the chat. So wonderful sessions, Shirin and Dr. Kalika. We really enjoyed it. There is one question on feedback, a general question, whether there is a feedback form. So for all our audience, please stay tuned tomorrow as well. So after tomorrow's sessions, we will post a feedback form for everyone to give your comments. Thank you very much. To you, Surendra ji.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Rotarian Smita. I don't think we had too many questions today, but I would like to thank the session leader and the session speakers for sticking to the time. We are very much in time. And this now ends the session 2, and we shall begin the session 3 right away. I would heartily welcome Rotarian Arun Sate for this session. And may I request our Assistant Governor, Rotarian Sanjay Khanolkar, to please introduce Rotarian Arun.
Rotarian Arun Sate, a Rotarian for last 35 years, Rotarian Arun is a member of Rotary Club of Pune, which was established in the year 1936, the oldest Rotary Club in District 3131. He happens to be a past president as well as a major donor. In the past, he has served in 2 more districts, RID 3250 Jamshedpur, RID 3141 Mumbai, and now he is part of RID 3131 Pune. In his 35 years as a Rotarian, he has held almost all important positions at club as well as district level. He has also won many Rotary awards, including RI Presidential Citation for Service Avenue. He is holding position of Director Education Programs for last 4 years in District 3131. He is a member of the Rotary Foundation cadre of technical advisors. He continues to be member of Peace Builder at Mediators Beyond Borders International, Democracy, Politics and Conflict Engagement Initiative, Rotary Positive Peace Academy, Rotary Action Group for Peace. He is quite active in the field of peace and conflict resolution. Recently, in January 2021, he has been chosen as Rotary Ambassador of Peace. A chemical and metallurgical engineer by profession with postgraduate training in Virginia University in USA, he is presently Chairman and Managing Director at Manhattan Consulting, India. Earlier, he has worked with Indian giants such as Tata Steel, Tata Forbes at director levels. I now request Rotarian Arun to deliver his address.
Okay, am I audible, please? Good evening, everyone. And this is the presentation which I'll be making. concerning peace, which is one of the most important perils that are being faced by the world. Now, everyone understands that loss of peace or conflict is a cost. But proper efforts will not be taken unless the actual costs are known. So, who is finding out what the costs are? Well, you'll be surprised to know that there are several groups. You'll lose count. You can find them all on internet. And everybody is trying to find the cost. And most of them have come out with acceptable answers. Now, Rotary, coming to Rotary, what is Rotary doing about peace? But as we all know, peace is one of the areas of focus of Rotary. And Rotary is doing quite a lot on the subject of peace. Now, first is they have partnerships with many individual organizations. One of them is Institute of Economics and Peace, IEP, Sydney and Australia, with offices worldwide. Now, IEP alone also cannot serve the need on its own. So they have various other collaborations also, one of them being Mediators Beyond Borders International. And there are several, but these two I am mentioning because their efforts are worth noting. Now, Rotary on its own, what has it done? They have tie-ups with universities and they've got 7 peace centers around the world. There's one in Australia, one in Japan, one in Thailand. They got centers in Europe and also in US, and one in Africa. So 7 centers, 2 of them carry out a 1-year program. That's a short-term program for students, leading to a certificate course. And 5 of them cater to a long-term course where the students enter into a 2-year program. And that gives, those 5 centers give postgraduate degrees in peace and conflict resolution. This is what Rotary is doing on its own and is spending quite a lot of resources and money on these 7 centers. So now, having seen what Rotary is doing, we can go ahead with this. Can I have the first slide, please? I think this is the first video. It's a group photo only. This is the first one to build up the atmosphere. Can we go to the second? This is what we will see. And this deals with vision of sustainable peace. Any peace efforts have to be sustainable, otherwise they would not carry much of meaning. The next slide, please. And partners with, as I told you, with 8 leading universities to host peace centers that empower, educate, and increase the capacity of peace builders. This is an opportunity for all our young people as well as not so young people. There is no age criteria for the students. All 8 are open to all ages. Next, please. Yeah, 1,400 alumni are already working in the field of peace and are helping Rotary and various other organizations also. We will see some examples of who is where. Next one, please. Yeah, these are the program. Next one. Yeah, I was talking about Australia, I was talking about Japan, Europe, US, and even here, Thailand and Africa. Those are in purple color. That means they cater to a 1-year short-term course leading to a certificate course. Whereas other yellow ones cater to 2-year courses, giving out postgraduate degrees to the students. Next one, please. Yeah. What is master's program? So as we saw, there are 5 centers which cater to a 2-year long-term course, and every year, generally, 10 students per center are taken. There is a process which we will discuss, process how they are taken. But here we note that 10 students per year in the 5 centers which cater to the long-term 2-year course. And the certificate program, the 80 per year. This is the 1-year program, and there is a overlapping also over there. So they call them cohorts. Both the programs are running very well, and they are in demand quite a lot. We dealt with them. Now each district can sponsor any number of candidates. There is no limit on the number, as long as you're sure that you're choosing a good candidate. That's what you can do. You can recommend, and the final decision will be taken by the Peace Center and Rotary Foundation also. And the results are announced sometime in November, so generally in the first week of November. The last date is over and they are being evaluated now for this year. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is the master program, 2-year program that we spoke about. And there are various things that, as you can see, there is academic training, there is applied field experience, there is networking, there is final seminar is also there at the end, which goes into evaluation of the students. Next slide. Yeah, this is the master's degree. Yes, I'm running out of time. But can you see the slides? Is everyone able to see the slides?
Yes, sir. We can see your slides and we can see you also.
Okay, wonderful. So we go back to the slide, and I'm coming to the almost end of my presentation. This is about master's degree, about which we are talking some time back. What the students have to have: be proficient in English, have a bachelor's degree, so it's a postgraduate degree, and some other skills which they should have demonstrated. Okay, next one. This is the certificate program. As I was telling you, you will see on the top, there is an overlap between the 2 programs. One program lasting for 1 year, but the other batch joins them even before they end their 1 year. So there is some overlap there. And as you will see, there is a large portion of 9 months where they implement a social change initiative with interactive online sessions from the institute, and all these expenses are paid for by Rotary. Next one. Yeah, certificate candidates have to have the same all things, but they have to be proficient in English and demonstrate leadership skills, etc. So we'll go to the next one, please. Next slide, please. Yeah, funding. For both the programs, masters as well as certificate, Rotary pays everything. The estimate for the master's fellowship is $75,000 per student, and for certificate fellowship, about 11,000. Next. Yeah, you can see some of the alumni. Next one, we'll see the names now. Where are the Rotary Peace Center alumni working now? As you can see, sky is the limit. they can go to UN, they can go to NGOs, they can go to government agencies, they go to defense, World Bank, journalism, everything. So there is a lot to foresee for each student. Next slide. This is one of the alumni. She is from India and she underwent the course at Chulalongkorn in Bangkok. And she is now presently also in India. She is the founder and chief executive of Red Dot Foundation. Next one. Yeah, Charlie Allen also did his course in Thailand, and he is director of partnerships at the IEP, which I mentioned some time back. This is a wonderful institute and doing a lot of work. So he is in charge of the partnerships. Next one. This is just to give you an idea as to who is where. Now she is from Zambia. She studied at Duke in USA, and she is in South Africa now. Next one. He is from Somalia and underwent education at Queensland in Australia. He is now Director, Immigration Partnership in Canada. Next one. So now comes the mechanics of it, how to apply. Very simple, the whole process is online. The candidate should contact the Rotary Club of their choice. It's not compulsory, but it will be better if they do, so that the Rotary Club will do the conversation with them, will prepare them for the course. So the application generally open on 1st February, so there's plenty of time now. And they had to be submitted by 15th May. There's plenty of time for that also. So everyone should go through, presentations like this, and also at the Rotary org site. There's plenty of material available. Next slide, please. Yeah. This is the last one. For more information, write to us. There is an address, Rotary Peace Centers at Rotary org. I think I hope that I have given you adequate information. There are a lot more things which can be mentioned in a PACE seminar. The one more article which I have written, it's a large article, and the contents of which I have sent to the organizers, but maybe sometime in future we'll deal with that. Next one. Yeah. Questions and answers, please. I'll be glad to answer questions, if any.
Thank you, Rotarian Arun. Thank you for your excellent and very elaborate and deep information about the work of Rotary in this field. I think it will motivate a lot of Rotarians.
Yeah, it should.
And a lot of other non-Rotarians also to participate in this.
Right, for placement, somebody is asking. Ati is asking. So that slide, can you show, please?
Yeah.
Where?
I think the questions will be taken by Rotarian Smita.
Huh? No, there is a question from Aarti of Rotary Club of Pune.
Yeah.
She wants to see the slide where we have shown who is working where. It go back further, still back. Some more. You'll see the pie chart. Yeah, this is the one. Aarti, are you online? Okay, I hope that everyone who wanted to know this is able to see it. And a large percentage of alumni are working in the NGOs. But there are, for example, World Bank, journalism, police, law enforcement. Yeah. Aarti, you got it? Okay. Aarti has seen this. So if there are any other questions, we'll take them up now. Yeah, Arti has replied, she's seen it. Okay, Smita, if there are no more questions, then we can progress, I suppose.
Yeah, so thank you, Satish sir. It was, as usual, a very inspiring and informative session from you. You have been taking off all these fellowships and scholarships for RID 3131 for long, and no better person than you could actually enlighten everyone for the peace fellowship. So thank you so much.
But
I would urge all the attendees. There are a lot of funding for peace education. We have our own institutes. So all the youngsters or even people who are working in the area of peace, please go to rotary.org to the site that Sati sir has shared. Read about it and apply, and this will change your life. We have seen people working at various influential levels after going through these courses. So the masters and the certificate programs are wonderfully funded by Rotary. So please take benefit of it. Recently, Sati sir and me and some of the team members, we closed almost 25 interviews of candidates who had applied, and quite a few of them will be selected. So please take benefit of this. And if there are any questions, please post them on the chat so that at the end of sessions.
Smita, I think a small point I'll mention.
Sure, please go ahead, sir.
We handle all sorts of scholarships and fellowships in our
Yes.
avenue, and we are glad to inform everybody that we have been able to send people abroad for peace scholarship, also for water and sanitation in Netherlands, also for scholarship in other subjects. So we'll very soon, there's plenty of time, and everyone can take his time, her time, in deciding what he wants to do. But if there is any question, you can always get in touch with me, please. Thank you.
Yes. So, yes.
I just want to announce that I got some queries and I got some requests from people that they are interested in listening to Rotary Arun Sathe again. Means I got some messages on my personal phone and all. So I assure you all that we will be having, obviously I'll have to discuss with Sathe sir and the peace team. And then we will be arranging very soon a workshop, international workshop, where you will get detailed information about the grants and scholarships. So this is an assurance from RID 3131 and Rotary Club Chinchwad and the whole peace team. Thank you so much. Back to you, Shilpa. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Shilpa. That's very gracious of you to announce such a session. Sakshi Patil has asked for the link again. So Sakshi, it is rotary.org, that is rotary.org. Please visit this website and just search for peace. You'll get immense amount of information there.
There is one more link also.
Yes.
RotaryPeaceCenters.org, which I had
Yes.
shown. It is there in one of the slides.
Correct. So there is another one, rotarypeacecenter.org. So you could visit that too. There is another question from Vijay Lakshmi. What are the basic requirements to get a scholarship from Rotary? How do we approach, sir? So Sati sir, would you like to answer this?
Yes, yes. The basic requirements are shown in one of the slides. They expect that students for both long-term and short-term courses be proficient in English and should have worked in the direction of peace for some time. So that is the only requirement. There is no age limit. And the whole thing will open only on 1st February. You got sufficient time. Please go to the Rotary.org site or the other site, rotarypeacecenters.org, and learn more about the peace scholarship. And there are only two types. That is, one is long-term, leading to a postgraduate. One is short-term, 1-year course, leading to a certificate course, a certificate being given to the candidate. So there are two courses, and there are 7 centers, 2 centers catering to short-term courses, and 5 centers catering to long-term courses. So this is the basic information. Please do visit the Rotary.org site or Rotary Peace Center site. And if you have any problem, you can always get in touch with me.
All right, thank you. There are a lot of many questions coming, but we are short of time. We have to get to the other session now. So we will attend to these questions in the chat separately, or we could also take them up when Sate sir has another workshop which Shilpa is going to arrange.
Yeah,
So thank you, Sate sir. Thank you very much. And
Thank
I hand
you.
over to Surendra ji.
I was glad to be here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Smita. Friends, we are now commencing the fourth and the final session for today. We have with us Rotarian Madhumita Vishnu from the E-Club of Melbourne, Australia, as the chairperson for this session. And on behalf of all of you, I welcome her. I also take this opportunity to welcome Advocate Sheetal Metkar as the guest of honor today. We also have with us Rotarian Petro Uzochukwu Maslio, and we welcome him to this session and to this conference. I also specially welcome Dr. Thomas Claude Daffon from France.
Oh.
So friends, let me introduce to you a very impressive personality, full of energy and an excellent Rotarian Madhumita Vishnu. Rotarian Madhu, as she is called by all our Rotarian friends all over the world, lives in Calcutta, India, and is a member of the E-Club of Melbourne, RID 9800, Australia. Madhu is a member of several Rotary fellowships and action groups, ranging right from Educators Fellowship, for which she was the chair in 2021, to the Wildlife Conservation Fellowship, which is more than 15 different types of fellowships and action groups. She is also a member of the Rotary Action Group for Peace. She has been the counselor for many international RILAs from 2007 to 2013. Madhu has attended 23 RI conventions consecutively since 1998. And for this experience of the conventions, it has been published in the Rotary News also. Madhu is a Rotary volunteer and is a TRF cadre member. She was a site visitor for many 3H projects, education and literacy programs of Rotary. Madhu has worked for several matching grant projects and global grant projects. She has been speaker in many Rotary conferences in India and speaker in several clubs of RID 5170 USA. Madhu has also been the panelist and moderator at various topics during several RI conventions. She is a Rotary volunteer and has taught English in schools run by Rotary. Her experience in attending RI conventions has been published in the Rotary News too. Madhu is a Paul Harris Fellow and a Bequest member. She has done her Masters in Islamic History from University of Calcutta and works in the corporate social responsibility field, looking into the health activities of women and children for the Ambuja Cement Foundation in Howrah district of West Bengal, state of India. Friends, her hobbies are traveling, photography, cooking, reading, and listening to music. I would now hand over the proceedings of this session to Rotarian Madhu. Rotarian Madhu, please.
Thank you so much, Rotarian Surendra Sharma, for that wonderful introduction. I'm always happy to be in Rotary programs, and I'm extremely thankful to Professor Dr. Rotarian Shilpa Gauri for her invitation. First, I would like to pass it on to her because she has the video clippings of our first speaker, Advocate Sheetal Yaduraj Metkar. So over to Dr. Shilpa Gauri.
Thank you. We are going to have the presentation by Honorable Advocate Sheetal Metkar. First, there is going to be a dance performance. I'm going to present before you the preface of this particular dance presentation. This is a prayer, Pasaidan, written by Saint Gnaneshwar from Maharashtra, India, in the 13th century. It is basically an invocation to the Almighty for universal peace and brotherhood, for eradicating evil thoughts and to be compassionate towards the nature, animals, and humans on this particular beautiful planet. This performance will definitely synchronize with the theme of our conference. So presenting before you the dance performance by Advocate Sheetal Metkar and her troupe and her disciples.
तिमिर जावो दुरितांचे तिमिर जावो
विश्व स्वधर्मा सूर्ये पावो विश्व स्वधर्मा सूर्ये पावो
जो जीवन
Namaskar and a very good evening. And thank you so much for the surveillance of our dance performance, which I feel aptly depicted not only the gist of my topic, Peace Through Dance, but also the theme of this entire majestic international conference. I trust I have been able to convey the core meaning of Pasayadan, a prayer for universal peace, through my choreography and through the subtitles as well. So, before commencing the presentation, I seek your blessings for me and also for my co-dancer students at Utkal Nritya Niketan. Coming to the topic, Peace Through Dance. While sharing my views and experiences with all you dignitaries all over the world, I really feel proud to mention that yes, I am a classical dancer. But what if I say that we all are dancers? I guess very few shall agree. But if we take a quick glance to the 4 important components which comprise dance, we will come to know that we all perform the same thing knowingly or unknowingly. Number 1, rhythmic physical movement. We all follow certain rhythm in our day-to-day activities like walking, running, swimming, roti making, typing, birds flying. There is some rhythm. But when the same thing dancers do following some rhythm in physical movement, we call it Angika Abhinay. Number 2, impact of music or song or the lyric being played around. Number 3, our dress up. We all dress up ourselves according to the role we have to play in our day-to-day life. But the same thing when the dancer do, we dress up and adorn ourselves according to the character we have to play in dance or according to our own dance style. It is called as Aharya Abhinay. And last and most important thing is Satvika Abhinay, which is called as emotional bonding between the performer and the fellow being, like bonding between a teacher and student, doctor and patient, and the response coming from the fellow beings. This is called as Satvika Abhinay. So, we all are connected with these things, and that is why I said that we all are dancers and the peacemakers too. Now, let us see what is the connection between dance and the peace. So, let me tell you or say peace of mind is precondition for a dancer. For an instance, when a dancer enters on the stage, we enter with Pushpanjali, having flowers in the hand, entering gracefully the stage, which is called as Rangamancha Pravesh, offering the flowers on the stage to the stage or to the deity we are worshipping before commencing our dance. Number 2, take an instance of pranam. I will show you. So, pranam is a pre-dance ritual which includes inviting all the positive powers from all the direction, bowing before the deity, touching Mother Earth, saying her sorry for hurting her every time before learning, practicing or performance, and finally bowing before our parents, our gurus, our elders, the audience and accompanying artist. So, this whole humble and compassionate physical and emotional gestures brings mental peace in the result. Then let us talk about Guru Shishya Parampara, a bond between a teacher and a student. Long life respect towards the source of knowledge, skill of art. This also keeps our mind at humble mode and brings peace of mind. And the most important is age-old connection of classical dance with the spiritual spirit. Dance itself is a worship. Example, God Shiva in his Nataraja form is called as the god of dance. The dance I perform, Odissi dance from the state of Orissa, India, there is tradition of worshipping Jagannath throughout the dance. So, as such different dance styles has different spiritual bonding tightly connected with the peace of mind. Going further, let us have the international references regarding this topic. There are some case studies which study dance and music and its effect on the war-torn society. In this case study, a 14 years old resident of war zone displacement camp said, "When I dance, my problems vanish. The camp is gone. I feel the wind. I can feel the fresh air. I am free and I can feel my home thereout." In one report, Sneha Gautam, an art critic, she gives reference of the report published by World Health Organization, which says how art can help tackle numerous mental and physical health issues. During pandemic, when the whole world had to stand still, we all walked with the creativity within. Around 95% of world population had resort to creativity during this crisis. So every country, every community, every state has its own mode to get refreshed through dance and music. For example, satsang, what is it? Getting collected, singing, dancing, meditating together for peace of mind. Different folk dances, how they emerged. After the day long hard work, the hard working community get together, singing, music, and forgetting, getting rid of the pains and worries and getting refreshed for the next day hard work again. Pandharichi Wari, which we call in Maharashtra. What is it? Walking together along with singing and dancing to Lord Vithala. So these are different Hare Rama Hare Krishna movement is there. So there are certain different modes of getting connected with the peace of mind through the mode of music and dance. We all might know about music and dance therapy. It is a separate stream that heals your mind and body. If we take instances of some hand gestures used in music and dance, so this is Sundarishya Mudra in music, but in therapy it is Mudra for knowledge. This is Apana Mudra in therapy, which is powerful in eliminating negative thoughts or pushing a baby during delivery. But in dance, this is used as Sinhamukha, showing the object like animal, etc. This is Shakata Mudra in dance, showing demons, evils, villains, etc. But it is Vayu Mudra in therapy, which helps in concentrating on positive thoughts and getting peace of mind. As such, therapy and dance get connected here. So this is what dance is. But unfortunately, it is taken mostly mere as a medium of entertainment. But no, it is not that narrow. It is really very broad concept. What is dance? It is physical fitness, it is mental fitness, it is patience, tolerance, it is meditation through movement, and it is a mode to create a chain of further creativity. That is why mostly a dancer being good, singer being good, accompanying artist, singer being good, instrumentalist being good, actor being good, writer. So it comes as a whole creative chain. And why this happens? It happened due to the self-assertion which comes through the peace of mind, which comes through creativity. And last but not the least, the most important resort for peace of mind, I would say, is moral and ethics. Because without moral and ethics, any art, any artistic creativity definitely goes to more and more greed, envy and mean competition, which vanishes your piece of art, whatever you could gather during the process of creativity. So this is all what I could cover during this very short time, and I am sure that I could convey what is the connection between peace and dance. I am sure because I am getting delighted to communicate with the people all over the globe for more than 35 to 40 countries, and thank you so much organizers, the viewers and listeners.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sheetal Medkar. That was a wonderful dance that you showed to us, and what you said is so true. We all know that peace can be achieved through spiritualism, through any art form, be it dance, music, any art form, and that was just wonderful. So our next speaker is Rotarian Pietro Maclio. I hope I have pronounced it correctly. Rotarian Pietro Maclio is from Southeast Nigeria. He's the past president of Rotary Club of Abuja, Woo's 2, District 9125, Nigeria, and a member of the Rotary Action Group for Peace. I'm also a member of the Rotary Action Group for Peace. He's a political scientist and a master of international relations. Rotarian MacLeo is an ambassador of the Institute for Economics and Peace, a fellow of the Institute of Management Consultant, and fellow of the Institute for Crisis Resolution, Peace Building, and Conciliation. He's a chartered diplomatic manager, chartered conflict manager, and a certified project manager. Pietro is a member of the United States Institute of Peace, Meditators Beyond Borders, Nigeria Peace Institute, Nigeria Institute of Management, Chartered Institute of Public Diplomacy and Management. Pietro is the coordinator of Activating Positive Peace in Nigeria and chairman of Brave Child Foundation, a pan-African non-partisan organization working to improve communities and human capital development of people in Nigeria and Africa by championing the positive peace initiatives and advocating for the reinforcement of the right pillars of positive peace so as to advance sustainable development. The Shepherd, as fondly called, is a Paul Harris Society member, Yale Ambassador, Young African Leadership Institute, a member of the Nigeria Red Cross and Amnesty International. Rotarian MacLeo has bagged awards from America and South Africa for outstanding professional services and several awards and appreciation for trailblazing humanitarian works. He is going to present to us national training of positive peace ambassadors. Over to Rotarian Pietro.
Thank you very much, distinguished Rotarians, and congratulations on your Silver Jubilee. It's been an impactful conference and I've learned a whole lot. With no further ado, I would like to introduce this program, which is a program developed by Rotarians in Nigeria to administer sustainable peace in Nigeria. And I'm hopeful that at the end of this presentation, we would have Rotarians in the conference inspired to have activating positive peace in India, activating positive in USA, Germany, as the case may be. So I understand I'm working on a very tight line and my presentation is a bit voluminous. So I would encourage the technical team to please be a bit fast. Next slide, please. Yeah, our initiative, the deliverables of our initiative was flagged by Rotary International, and it was published in last month's magazine, where it was got to get the public eye about what Rotarians are doing in Nigeria to address issues of violent conflicts. It was indeed an impactful one, and it spurred us to do more to engineer societal change in the country. Next slide. Now, before I would like to go to the Activating Positive Peace proper, let me take a couple of minutes to talk about Nigeria, give you an overview of Nigeria so that the audience may understand the composition of Nigeria as a country and its placement in the African continent. Next slide. Nigeria, as we have it, is in the West African region of the continent. It has 37 contiguous states. It's the largest population in Africa and the largest economy in Africa. There's presently a projection that in 2015, Nigeria will be the third largest country in the world. Currently, Nigeria is among the top 10 oil-producing countries in the world, but ironically, is the largest number of out-of-school children. Nigeria plays host to the third deadliest terrorist group in the world, which is the Boko Haram. And currently, Nigeria is placed at the orange level of conflict because of sparks of ethno-religious crisis and general criminalities. The pictures underneath your screen shows the Boko Haram, the Fulani herdsmen, and the bandits. These are prevalent security challenges Nigerians have at the day-to-day, but it didn't just start today, by the way. Since the independence of Nigeria in 1960, we've had cases of ethno-religious conflicts, and the apex of such imbroglio was the 1967 Civil War, which claimed millions of lives from the surface of the earth. Aside from the Civil War, we've had cases of Fulani herdsmen, Boko Haram, religious crises, but most recently, the post-COVID-19 issue, next slide, has increased those challenges. And then we have issue of NSAS, which saw the agitation for police brutality quickly dovetail to the agitation of better governance, better societal change. And then the post-COVID-19 realities have unblurred the line to see more that there are inequalities in Nigeria. And this has actually increased security challenges in the country. You start seeing upsurge in secessionist movements, as we have the Yoruba nation agitating for self-governance. We also have the indigenous people of Biafra, popularly known as IPOB, agitating for self-governance as well. IPOB, on the other hand, has already been declared a terrorist group, and all these pockets of crisis is increasing the conflict situation in the country. Next slide. Now, coming to the concept of positive peaks. Next slide. This is an initiative pioneered by passionate Rotarians, passionate humanitarians who are concerned about the level of peacefulness in the country. And then we're saying we can't fold our hands and watch Nigeria become ungovernable. So looking at this, the objective is to activate positive peace across Nigeria, the whole 37 states, by utilizing the Rotary structures. And these Rotary structures include the Rotary Club, the Rotary Community Club, the Intera Club, the Rotary Club, the Alumni Network. We're saying that having been privileged and opportune enough to eradicate polio, let's look inward at a more daring situation in the country, which is violent conflict as we have it. We're saying that yes, polio is bad to humanity, but then it eats away limbs, while violent conflicts does an outright maiming, sabotages the country, displaces people, deaths, and what have you. And now this initiative, we came up with the key goals. One is to build peaceful relationships among nations, build a national peace system, provide practical tools at the grassroots for peaceful mediation and management. But most importantly, we intend to establish peace infrastructures in the 37 states in Nigeria. And these infrastructures include the early warning sign mechanism. So anywhere we carried out our project, we inaugurated Peace and Security Council or peace clubs. Their duty is to manage the peacefulness in their local community, test the level of peacefulness, be practical custodians of the peace in their local community. Secondly, we are looking at establishing vocational training and peace orientation centers. This will double as while training the youth and women on vocations and skills, they will be learning practical tools on how to manage conflicts in their domestic environment. Another aspect of those peace infrastructure is implementing peace systems in correctional facilities so that we don't have petty criminals who enter Nigerian correctional facilities coming out as hardened criminals. Lastly, most important, is erection of peace monuments. We most oftentimes, not just in Nigeria, across the world, we get to see war monuments, war heroes being celebrated through statues or historical books. We are advocating to pull down those structures and erect peace monument structures. On a personal note, I'm even thinking to take it a step further to advocate at the international level. Histories of racism, histories of colonialism, histories of what do you call it, slave trade, I think it should be expunged from our historical records so that the world can really heal. Because from research, you find that most often times that when the new generation go through those history books or historical records or see those monuments, they tend to have the spirit of vendetta or try to aspire to avenge their forefathers, as the case may be. So if we're preaching through healing, there's need to close that lead on the errors of the yesteryears. Please, next slide. Yeah, the last but not the least, we want to liaise with like minds to advocate for peace. Now, our framework for activating positive peace in Nigeria, next slide, is feeding off the Institute for Economics and Peace 8 Pillars ideology. Now, I'm an ambassador of the Institute, and then I come to find this theory or ideology very practical, and it resonates with the realities of the Nigerian environment. So in essence, we engineered this whole concept of activating positive peace to target every of the 8 pillars of peace in Nigeria. And these pillars of peace is from well-functioning government through sound business environment. IEP has done the bulk lifting for us by identifying the 8 pillars that are responsible for peacefulness in every community. So our initiative is to target every of these 8 pillars with our programs or projects or any of our initiative to speak to addressing the sustainability or the optimal function of those 8 pillars of peace. Next slide. Now, we've carried out several pilot projects to test our hypothesis on if indeed, if we address these 8 pillars of peace, that will have improved peacefulness in Nigeria. And we've had several projects in pockets of communities in Nigeria, grassroots communities, urban communities. And indeed, we recorded huge improvements in the peacefulness of those communities. So pretty quickly, I would like the technical team to run through those projects while I explain them holistically. Next slide. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Next. 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 And then please stop. Okay, so these are pilot projects that we just saw, ranges from local grassroots dialogue up to urban level dialogue. The grassroots dialogue are issues where we had to interrogate the level of peacefulness in local communities to ascertain the constant clashes between Christian and Muslim in Nigeria. Like you may know, Nigeria is highly polarized into these 2 major religious groups, and that is the Northern Muslim and the Southern Christian. So the hallmark of our initiative is for, at the end of the day, for us to come up with a peace system, a rapprochement agreement, where both divides must come to an understanding. Conflict is constant, but then what matters is how you address it at the end of the day. So this peace system is intended for both divides to dialogue over every conflicting interest instead of resolving to arms. So we've carried out certain projects in local communities that place host to Christian and Muslim. Some of the communities where we finished this, the dialogue, we had the children of these Christian and Muslim groups engage in sporting activities. In other communities, we set up peace and security network with key stakeholders ranging from community leaders to women and youth leaders to religious leaders, setting them up in a committee that will mastermind or overlook the peacefulness of that community or to ensure that the community is in harmony. And then in some cases, we erect peace pillars, plant trees to commemorate the day. But one unique community I must point out is the Wagi community, the Kasana community. The tribe has history of peaceful coexistence. So in the case of that community, we actually went to borrow relief from their book to ask them why they are disposed to peaceful coexistence. So at the end of that dialogue process, we got to understand that it's actually inculcated in their tribe. So it became a case of us learning to understand their tribe, to borrow tools from their tribe, to understand why no matter how you push them back to the world, they don't retaliate. So the tools or the data we gathered from that process would inform our peace system at the larger level. Now, what you are looking at in your screen is the visitation which I embarked upon in various Rotary clubs in Nigeria, training Rotary clubs and identifying passionate peace builders that would form the national network. Now, like I mentioned earlier, the Activating Positive Peace in Nigeria intends to activate peace, to build peace through Rotary networks. Rotarians are widely accepted across Nigeria through our humanitarian works and service projects. So it's important that we don't just leave it at that level, we take it a step further, and being a progressive organization, being an apolitical organization, we should be able to interrogate and intervene the reason for conflict, the root causes of conflict, and mediate as appropriate. And that is the training you are seeing here in several Rotary clubs. Peace building ambassadors have been identified, and we're proposing their formal training to equip them with the prerequisite tools to administer these peace building processes. Next slide. Now, this is the National Training of Positive Peace Ambassadors proper. Next slide. And these are the identified positive peace builders, 111 of them as the case is. Next slide. Now, what we are proposing is the National Training of Positive Peace Ambassadors. And this training is a 2 weeks intensive residency program where 111 of them will be trained The 111 of them are migrating from 37 states and will be hosted in Abuja here. And they'll be trained by specialists in the field of peace studies, security and intelligence, human rights, civic responsibilities, and conflict resolution. And then these peace activators or national positive peace ambassadors are expected to have multiplier effects. They are the ones that will cascade the activating positive peace program. Now, the records we've witnessed or the positive records we've had from the pockets of projects are intended to be done on a holistic scale, on a national scale. And it is these individuals that will cascade it. Next slide, please. The training shall focus on concepts of peace building, concept of security, best practices, early warning, early response, gender, peace building. Next slide, grassroots dialogue, etc. Next slide, the training demographics shall take place in Nigeria, like in Abuja, like I mentioned earlier. It's a 2-week program, 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. We intend to do it this year because there's already a concern that if the election period meets up with Nigeria, with the increase in crisis, we might not have a country, as the case may be. And then we intend to have this training this year. The institutions involved in the training, this Institute of Economics and Peace Australia, they volunteered a trainer all the way to Nigeria to train these participants. We also have the Nigerian Defense Academy, United States Institute for Peace, Nigeria Peace Institute to train these participants on conflict analysis, peace and security studies. Mediators Beyond Borders will train them on alternative dispute resolution, while Nigerian Institute for Advanced Legal Studies will train them on civic responsibilities, human rights, and every other legal framework. Next slide. Then the method of training will be hybrid, physical, and online. Next slide. Objectives of the training: develop participant skills, for participants to gain practical skills, develop participants' competence in all forms of non-formal and formal education network. Next slide. In addition to those objectives, for participants to strengthen their facilitation skills, because at the end of the day, they're expected to go down to their domestic environment to replicate what they've learned, identify other passionate peace builders and train them on a similar process for them to actually be the peace activators in those local communities. Next slide. We've developed some performance monitoring and evaluation indexes and criteria, among which is pre and post-test evaluation. The criteria for eligibility for the candidates: they must be first degree holders in social sciences, they must be community influencers and opinion leaders, they are ready to take action, and these are actionable Rotarians of action, and they are willing to participate really fully in the 2 weeks program. Next slide. Next slide. Now we are requesting for partnership to actualize this objective. Already we have some forecast. And then next slide. The project is already on Rotary Showcase. It's pegged that it's $7,000. We have pledges, contributions, and projections at $11,000 already. And we're still expecting $76,000. The advantage of partnering with us in this initiative, like I mentioned a few moments ago, is to have the blueprint or experience or the tools that we use to engineer this peace process in Nigeria for you to be able to replicate it in your respective countries. Next slide. Next slide. Now, closing remarks, I would say that Rotarians, our diversity, our cooperation, our apolitical approach to peace building and service projects has really made us dare to all sides of the divide: Christian, Muslim, community, enlightened, and whatnot. So I'm of the opinion that we shouldn't just stop at training Rotarians or non-Rotarians on the four walls of institutions, or as we have it earlier at Rotary Peace Center. I think that using Rotary structures and the leverage, the acceptance Rotary has, we could do more to engineer societal change, sustainable societal change at that, for the community to feel our impact, feel Rotary presence, and for us to have a professional network that will not just look at the level of peacefulness in our respective countries, but also look at contemporary conflicting issues or be able to identify root causes of conflict and nip it in the bud. every Rotary Club seems to have adopted community. So through those channels of communities, we can say, okay, this is the problem at this community, we can intervene expediently. So we should leverage on the opportunities we have in Rotary Network to administer societal change. Next slide. Thank you, and thank you all for the opportunity given to me to deliver this presentation. I'm indeed grateful, and thank you once more, Rotary and Chinchwad.
Thank you so much, Rotarian Pietro. That was a very thought-provoking presentation, and we have certainly a lot of things to ponder on. I would now like to move on to our next speaker. So our next speaker is Dr. Thomas Dofforn. I hope I'm pronouncing correctly. If I'm wrong, please excuse me. So he is the director at International Institute of Peace Studies and Global Philosophy with their Nouvelle Aquitaine in France. He has been engaged in over 30 years, spent actively involved in study, education, teaching, and research for peace. Active on many fronts, he has been involved with philosophical peace, education, history, comparative, global philosophy, and interfaith studies, international relations, and practical peacemaking and interfaith international conflict resolution for many years. He has received his doctorate in science in recognition of his international peace studies work. He has been recently awarded his PhD for a thesis on the intellectual and transpersonal history of the search for peace between 1945 to 2001. He is now teaching full-time as a head of religious studies in a private school where his many years of study, research, and teaching experience can prove, hopefully, of lasting benefit to students. He's a lecturer part-time in adult religious and philosophical education in Sussex and elsewhere, and does travel internationally whenever he can. His specialties is he has spent many years teaching peace studies, religious education, international relations, philosophy and history to adults and postgraduate students, and have an excellent overview of all aspects of history, philosophy, peace studies, meditation, and conflict resolution work, both theory and practice, and religious studies. He's a global citizen who has traveled and researched widely, who brings international perspectives to his work. He also runs an interfaith and intercultural meditation service that specializes in conflict resolution between different cultural parties in conflict, religion, ideological, ethnic, etc. Thank you. And over to Dr. Thomas.
So greetings, everyone. Thank you. That's a slightly out of date CV you've been reading from, but it says the main thing. Okay, so my first slide, I direct this institute, which is unique because we specialize in peace studies in all aspects, but we look at comparative global philosophy. And some of the other speakers, our friend who talked about the Bhagavad-Gita, our friend talking about the arts, you know, philosophy is at the root of what we do. Our last speaker from Nigeria. How can we educate people philosophically to be more sensitive to each other's philosophies? So the global philosophy implies that we're looking holistically at all philosophical traditions, not just promoting our own cultural lens. And that to me is the mission we've taken on. The slide shows Qumran, which was an Essene religious retreat center on the Dead Sea at the time of Jesus. And as you probably know, the Jews and the Romans were about to fight an enormous war. That symbolizes, that slide, why we need interfaith peace building. We can't afford any more wars between the Romans and the Jews and all the other factions, the Muslims, the Christians, etc. Okay, next slide, please. Right, so the Institute was set up in 1991 at the University of London. I was employed to write a feasibility study into creating an institute at the university, specializing in peace and conflict studies. And I traveled around to about 25 countries in the world. I documented all this, it was later published. I interviewed just every single expert I could find in every country, looking at peace research, conflict studies. We organized meetings in the House of Lords in London because I feel politics have they contribute a lot to conflict. So we have to actually educate the politicians to think peace as the priority instead of victory. They too often go for the military solution, particularly in Britain and America, I have to say. The more power you have, the more tempted you are to use it, which is a mistake. I worked with the Gandhi Foundation in London. I was their educational director, and I ran classes in the building where Gandhi lived when he was in London in 1931. We've published about 50 books. We published the only journal in the world on the nature of love, altruism, and compassion. To me, peace is a positive energy that we generate through exploring friendship, love. That's what Rotary exists for. You create friendships, and that's the secret of peace. But we're the only academic journal actually looking at the nature of love, which is ridiculous, but true. We founded the Multi-Faith and Multicultural Mediation Service in 1995. Now, this is the only such organization. We're a specialist mediation body that deal with interfaith disputes, also involving interethnic and let's say racial conflict, because they're often interlinked. This was set up in 1995 after attending a conference at the Vatican. Next slide, please. Right, so this was set up with, I was then Secretary General of the World Conference on Religions for Peace for the UK and on European board. And I was working with the Gandhi Foundation. And there were so many conflicts going on in the 1990s involving ethnicity and religion. In the Balkans, former Yugoslavia was blowing up into wars between Muslims, Orthodox Christians and Catholic. In India, there was Kashmir, there was the Sri Lankan conflict going on between Hindus and Buddhists. And everywhere, and Northern Ireland was going on between Catholics and Protestants. And I thought, who's dealing with all this stuff? You know, the Cold War was over in 1990. Russia and America declared a peace treaty. But then all these religious wars were breaking out. So this service was designed to tackle them. And it arose when I went to the Vatican in 1994 to a conference. The former Pope was there, 900 religious leaders, Hindus, Buddhists, Christians, indigenous leaders, Jews, everyone was there. And I thought, well, what are these people doing for peace? It's all very well having a conference and they talk, but what about actually ongoing? How do they deliver peace in the Balkans, in Kashmir? So I said, why can't we train them as mediators? Using their specialist knowledge of religions, train them in mediation skills and send them in to conflict zones where this is going on. And so in 1995, we had a training in Oxford. I was teaching at the University of Oxford at the time. And we've dealt with loads of cases. This is an ongoing service. People can volunteer. They can be trained as mediators. And even if they've already got a training in mediation, there's a specialist bit to deal with interfaith mediation. So you're a Hindu, a Buddhist, a Jew, you bring that spirituality to the table. Okay, right, next slide, please. Right, this is a fun picture. This is me when I founded this thing. This is outside St. Peter's in the Vatican itself. If you've been there, you'll notice the sculptures on the top. You have St. Peter holding, he's up there, and all the other saints on the roof. I feel these saints should go to work, and the living saints, we should employ them to actually put these conflicts out. And I take the view that there are saints in every religion, Buddhist, Hindu, Jewish, Christian. And I published, among other things, the Universal Calendar of Saints and Sages, which has a saint for every day of the year from every religion. And, you can take any day of the year and they're all there. Like yesterday was Joseph Coppertino, who's known as the Flying Saint. He used to levitate in a church in Italy. It was a bit of an embarrassment to the establishment, but he is actually recognized now as a full-on saint. Okay, next slide, please. So this work also led me to believe, because I was working in London, right? I'm a British Canadian dual citizen, although I now live in France. And the Commonwealth has 53 nations. I traveled to India many, many times. You're a member of the Commonwealth, so is Pakistan. Bangladesh. If we could get a network of Commonwealth interfaith leaders together, we, the Commonwealth, 53 nations, should showcase how not to make war. And it's embarrassing to me that Pakistan and India constantly are sort of threatening to erupt into conflict, or that other Commonwealth countries are. So I set this thing up in '97 at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, which takes place every few years. As a Canadian, you know, the Canadians are quite active in peace. I believe the Rotarians have a lot of Commonwealth member countries involved, so you could help with this Commonwealth Interfaith Network. I believe there are quite a few Rotarians interested in spirituality and interfaith stuff. So get involved, join us in each Commonwealth country, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, etc. And together we can really make a difference. Okay, next slide, please. Right, so how are we going to do this? I'm an academic, I'm a philosopher. Let's do this through scholarship. That's what I'm bringing to the table at this conference, right? And my institute has been pioneering sort of inter faith dispute resolution alongside other bodies. One of the main bodies is an academic group called the International Peace Research Association, which includes many specialists in conflict resolution research worldwide, and I've been active with them for many years, and they do a lot of very useful work. The other body here is the Conflict Research Society, which is equivalent in the UK. There are about, I don't know, 500 members throughout the UK and Europe. And again, we're specializing in conflict analysis. Our Nigerian friend mentioned it. It was inspired by Professor Cedric Smith and Professor John Burton, who used to teach conflict resolution and set up the center at George Mason University. So they're pioneering how you can diffuse conflicts once they've started. The latest Encyclopedia of Violence, Peace and Conflict is about to be published. I authored the long article on peace building. So if anyone wants to research further, look up my article in that encyclopedia or the last edition of it. It'll be in good academic libraries. This was my own doctoral thesis where I looked at peace and conflict research from 1945 to 2001. And it was a huge work. It took me years. It was finally examined in 2008 because I was living the doctorate whilst I was actually researching it. Many of you may know that predicament. Next slide, please. Right, now, I take the view that peace studies is an interdisciplinary field. We've had people on this conference call who are coming from different perspectives, art, philosophy, history, etc. They're all important. I can only run through a few of the ways that these disciplines are important. Firstly, history. I'm a historian, among other things, and I think history can better emphasize the common stories we have instead of emphasizing the differences. So somebody, I think, talked about this previously. Historians have a duty to work for peace. I run Historians for Peace in the UK, and there's an international body of historians. The World Congress of Historians meets. Instead of saying, you know, our country's the best, we hate the other countries, we should be working on a history of peace. Too much of history is a history of warfare. So there's a really important contribution historians can make. Second, philosophers have a duty not to promote their own traditions, their own culture, their own philosophical schools, but to look broadly at global philosophy. You know, I would like every British school child to learn about Hinduism, Sikhism, Buddhism, Judaism. And I'd like every Indian school child to learn about all the world religions. And every child in every school throughout the world to have that global approach. Now, for that, I designed a periodic table of the world's religious and philosophical schools. And that leads me to, I'm Vice President of Philosophers for Peace globally. It's an international body trying to prevent nuclear omnicide, which is the destruction of the planet. Religious studies has an important role to play. I think it's underestimated, both in schools and universities. And we can emphasize common theological approaches to issues like faith, spirituality, sacred texts, different languages. You know, we should all know a bit of Sanskrit, a bit of Hebrew, a bit of Pali, a bit of Tibetan, a bit of Arabic. and the world will be a much happier place. No one religion has a monopoly of absolute truth. We're all co-partners. If you want, we are part of the great wheel of Dharma. Psychology is important, and our friend who talked about creativity knows full well the importance of psychology. There was a whole chapter of my doctoral thesis on psychological research into conflict resolution and peace. I believe in transpersonal psychology holds the key, which is Maslow, Carl Jung, Assagioli. Psychologists that factor in the spiritual dimension of human nature, don't repress it or try and reduce us to mechanistic materialist bundles of chemicals. No, we're souls in incarnation, but let's study that scientifically. So psychology can play a huge role. Sociology, obviously, because wars, conflicts are social processes. If you study killing as a phenomenon, it's groups that kill. Individuals don't really like killing. But if I'm in a platoon and everyone else is killing that lot, I'm going to be shamed into joining in. So there's a lot sociology can contribute. Next slide, please. Literature is important because novels, poetry, drama, they all can either, say, yeah, war's great, let's carry on doing it, let's defeat the enemy. Or they can cause us to reflect and think, actually, is war worth it? Tolstoy was one of the greatest writers. In War and Peace, he made clear that actually peace is preferable. Romain Rolland, a great French novelist, was the peace thinker in the 20th century as well. I'm myself a poet, and I use poetry for peace. Philology is important. Linguistics, the etymology of languages. We think we speak different languages, but actually we all speak the same languages, just evolved into different forms of speech. I edited the first dictionary of global peace philosophy, which is available. I looked at words for God, truth, love, wisdom, peace in all different languages. It's the first time anyone tried to do it. Arts and culture have come up a lot in this conference so far, and I salute everyone that talked about it, our dance expert and so on. I'm actually the educational organizer for the Delphic Games, which is the international equivalent to the Olympic Games. The Delphic Games ran for 1,000 years, based at Delphi in Greece. And unlike the Olympic Games, which emphasize sport, physical prowess, throwing javelins, running races, the Delphic Games celebrated the arts, culture, poetry, dance, theater, music. And for 1,000 years, they used to run in Delphi. We've restarted them. The Director General is in Berlin. There's an international body. We've had events, and any artists on this program that want to come to Delphi and compete, and they can travel around the world, get in touch with me. Because the arts have tremendous amounts to contribute to peace. Education, many people on this call are probably teachers like myself, and we need to rethink the curricula of schools so that they don't become factories for teaching alienation and despair and depression, but positive ways to empower kids to want to contribute to a more peaceful world. That is the natural instinct of children. So let's facilitate that. I developed school mediation programs. I was the first guy in the UK to train school children as mediators because they often have conflicts, bullying, etc. So that's a program that can be developed. We've heard several times on this conference call about economics. They have a huge role to play. What we need is a transformation from militarized economics. Marx left out militarism in his analysis in Das Kapital. I've done a commentary on this. He never mentioned the role of military technology in advancing capitalism itself. You can't have a critique of capitalism unless you factor in militarism. I advocate we should lock the world's 40 greatest economists in a hotel room, leave them there from all aspects, green, liberal, conservative, capitalist, communist, and don't let them out till they create an economic blueprint for a transition to a global peace economic system. That's what we need. At the moment, the vast majority of the collective wealth of the planet is going into weapons militarism, high-tech warfare, and now surveillance capitalism. That's all got to stop. Political science can also play a big role. And this is why I did my meetings in the House of Lords. I've worked with leaders. I'm disappointed at the quality of politicians. They seem to be coming from an ego base. And, what do we do about that? Well, we have to educate them. Rotary should set up meetings in the Indian Parliament, neutral academic fora to discuss ethics and policy. That's what I did in the House of Lords. You can do it too. Next slide, please. So I set up a Global Green University as a kind of academic forum for this. Global warming, the problems of the pandemic, these are all interrelated. We can't solve the problems of global warming and catastrophic climate change without demilitarizing the planet, because the military is the single biggest user of carbon dioxide and scarce resources on the planet. As long as these military forces are roaming about threatening wars on each other, we can't save this planet. This is why I worked with the Gandhian tradition. Only non-violence, ahimsa, resolutely pursued, can save this planet. And so there's, ongoing work. I've done a huge commentary on different religious texts. I've just finished a 10-year project on the Quran, which is a huge mammoth work, trying to explain that the Quran is not a blueprint for militarism. It was always intended as a blueprint for peace. I've done a commentary on the Bible as well, the Upanishads, the Dhammapada, and even Das Kapital. And each one of these things, I'm pointing out it's, how it could do better if you orientate it towards peace. These are all on the Global Green University website. You can access them, listen to them. And it's ongoing work. Okay, next slide, please. Right, conclusions. I'm going to come to the end here. So we are living, in case you haven't noticed, at a critical moment in world history. I mean, I'm a historian of planetary history. This is quite an extraordinary time we're living through. We can choose, therefore, as individuals and nations and as a planet, whether we are going to pass this peace test. You see, I'm with Keats, the poet, who said, life is a school for souls. And we're getting the peace test. We can either pass it by opting for peace. It looks like you Rotarians are passing the peace test. Or we can self-perish amidst the flames of permanent war. There are elite militaristic groups that want perpetual war, because coming from ego, they're the guys we're up against. We have to convert them. We have to dialogue with them. And I'm involved with some high-level work at that level. We can use our intellectual resources in the way that I've showed you in the sketch form. We should all be perpetual students, perpetual education, not perpetual war. That's my motto. Since 1991, my institute, which was set up at the University of London, has been pioneering this multimodal array of projects. And I haven't been able to go into them all, obviously, but I'll give you a flavor of what we're doing. We're a membership organization. If you're a scholar interested in peace work, or an activist who's active in the arts or whatever, you can get in touch. I've given you my contact details, and you can look on our website, which is educationaid.net. I'll put it in the chat for people. And anyone that's interested in education, and if you're teaching or interested in scholarly research, I'm a great believer. Just to finish, the word research means to make a circle again, comes from Latin, circle. And Rotary stands for the circle. It is the circle that will save this planet, because the planet is shaped like a circle. And so let's emphasize our roundness, all of us, and reconnect the dots of peace research, so that we can deliver this planet back in the hands of the meek, which is what Christ said as one of the peace teachers of the planet. This planet should be inherited by the peace people. And that's why we're here. So anyway, it's been a great honor to listen to the other talks, and I hope my few words are also of benefit to you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas. That was a very heartwarming presentation. We certainly need to look at the various religions, and every religion teaches us peace. There is not a single religion in the world which teaches us to be violent. And so we have seen through Hinduism, we have seen through Christianity, Islam, everywhere. I mean, I've done Islamic history, and I know for sure that, definitely doesn't teach us violence. Of course, the Muslims have had a lot of influence over us because they ruled in our country for many hundreds of years, but that's a different matter. So in conclusion, I would like to say that we had a lot of thoughts shared with us, and by both the speakers. We need to think that how we can move forward from this discussion. And, because if discussions are not, if actions are not taken on discussions, then actually the discussions become futile. So we need to work on that. But I would now like to ask for any question and answer if anybody has. And over to Rotarian Prasad to look into that for any of the speakers.
So I'm going to take that session, Madhumita, for question and answers. So there are a lot of comments on the excellent talks that we have had, a lot of appreciation for Pietro and also for Thomas, wonderful sessions. There is one specific question from Vijaya Lakshmi. She is actually, it's a long question, I'm just going to shorten it. She's doing a lot of study on peace and has wants to see if she can publish her articles through Rotary Peace journals, maybe, or maybe some platform where she can get involved in the Rotary Peace work. So, Dr. Tom, I don't know who, Dr. Thomas, can you take it that question?
I think probably not on the Rotarian side. Certainly in terms of academic stuff, generally, I can advise if you want to email me. Sure. But the mysteries of how you get to publish in the Rotarian world, that I'll leave to our president, I think, Shilpa Gauri.
Sure. So, Vijaya Lakshmi, if you could post your email ID and phone number, we will definitely get back to you. Most of us are Rotarians here, and we will help you how you can get connected as a research scholar with Rotary Peace initiatives.
Any more comments or questions?
There are just appreciative comments, Madhumita, for both the speakers. It was definitely very enlightening.
Excellent.
And commendable work by both of the gentlemen. It's
yes,
and even mind-boggling.
Yeah, Rotarian Sheetal's dance was spectacular. Yes. I mean, it's so true that dance and any kind of art really leads into peace. So that's remarkable.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Smita, and thank you, Madhumita, for your beautiful comments and wonderful observations. Well, we are coming to the end of the session and the end of the day. May I now request the immediate past president of Rotary Club of Chinchwad, Rotarian Prasad Sheth, to please propose the vote of thanks for the day and close the meeting for the day. Prasad, please.
Yes, there is a small change. I am again the Prasad Ganpule, Secretary of Rotary Club Chinchwad. I am taking up the vote of thanks. So, dear Rotarian friends,
is there. Prasad Sheth has joined.
I hope he is having some net connection problem. Yes, please, Prasad.
Prasad, please unmute yourself.
No, I hope he is having some net connectivity problem. So I will take on. Yes. So, am I audible?
Yeah, Prasad, go on.
Yes. So, dear Rotarians, friends, good evening to all the respected ladies and gentlemen on this platform. We have come to the end of day one of this International Peace Conference. It gives me really immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks to this August gathering today. My special thanks goes to today's guest of honor, Rotarian Pradeep Wagh, for his inspirational inaugural speech. I take immense pleasure in extending my sincere thanks to all the resource persons, Ms. Shireen Kulkarni from Finland, Dr. Kalika Uttarkar from Texas, USA, Rotarian Arun Sathe, our own Rotarian from our district, Advocate Sheetal Medkar for the wonderful presentation of the dance and peace. PP Rotarian Pietro Uzuchokobu Maselio from Nigeria, and none other than the great stalwart person from this today's a senior person, Dr. Thomas Deffen from France. We thank you all for this particular extension of your great knowledge, what you gained in so much long years. So we are very much thankful to you. We are also extending our thanks to the chairpersons in both the sessions, session 3 and session 4, Rotarian Jenny Hatanaka, past president of Rotary Club of Sao Paulo, Cambuchi, and Rotarian Madhumita Bishnu, a chairman of International Fellowship of Rotary Educators. I would like to thank the man with a mission, our very own district governor, Rotarian Pankaj Shah of RID 3131, as the inspirational force behind this entire conference. I extend my thanks to chief guest of this particular conference, Rotarian Deva Gorpade, Director, Peace Building and Conflict Prevention from our district 3131, and obviously Rotarian Smita Vikankar, Co-Director for Peace and Conflict Prevention, RID 3131. We do have today a few of the guests from our district, like Rotarian Ganesh Kudale as a Task Force Secretary, our own Assistant Governor, Rotarian Dr. Shubhangi Kothari, and our club member and the past president, Rotarian Sanjay Khanolkar as Assistant Governor. The all force starts from a point where the convention, particularly this conference, has been took place or imagined by our president, Rotarian Professor Dr. Shilpa Gauri Ganpule, Rotary Club of Chinchwad. So I thank all our team members, right from the district team, who has helped us to conduct this event seamlessly. So now I will just go through for the benefit of all the attendees today, who I'm going to welcome for the tomorrow's meeting, that is day 2. So tomorrow sharp 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. we are going to start again as IST time, the day 2 session. As already it has been published that our own Rotary International President, Rotary Shekhar Mehta, is going to be there as a keynote speaker from our district. Again, we do have our Rotarian Pankaj Shah as a district governor. We do have a guest of honor with us tomorrow, RI Director Rotarian Mahesh Kodwagi, again from our district 3131. And obviously there is a long list of the speakers, just like today only. We do have stalwarts from the peace part. So we do have with us tomorrow for our conference, who are going to be there as a chairing the session. Just a minute. So yes, we are going to have special sessions wherein we are going to give away the award as a virtual Rotary Peace Award. And in fact, today's speaker of the session, Rotarian Masilio, he is going to the awardee for the particular session as a Peace Award, along with Dr. Karmalkar, the Vice Chancellor of Pune University. He is also going to get felicitated with the Peace Award. So there is a highlight of tomorrow's program. In the resources person, there are Rotarian Florencia from Indonesia, Alison Sutherland. She is going to speak along with Dr. Christina DeCosi, Rotarian James Palmquist, Rotarian, and obviously the chairperson will be the from Indonesia. So this is what the whole program will be lined up for tomorrow. I finally request all the attendees today to be present there for the tomorrow's program also. We thank for giving your insights for this particular program, and thanks a lot. Just as our tradition, namaste.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. I just request the resource persons to be here. Thank you.
President, you can, do you declare this meeting over today?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Surendra. I declare this meeting over. This session is over now, and I welcome you all for tomorrow's session. Sharp at 6, we will start. So once again, I thank everyone, and I invite you all for tomorrow's session. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Thomas, it was really a very wonderful session. Sheetal, it was really a refreshing performance by you. I hope you're here. Yeah, you're here. It was really wonderful, and you changed the whole atmosphere.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. And Rotarian Pietro, it was just wonderful because see, I read the article in Rotary News, and then it was, but when, reading the article and you presenting here in the conference, these are the two different things altogether. So,
Very true.
because when you read the article,
Thank
you
you,
cannot
sir.
understand the gravity of the situation there. So it was really wonderful.
True.
And
Thank you very much.
I never knew, Dr. Thomas, that you were there in the Oxford University.
Ah, well.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I
Can I just ask your own role? What do you teach at Pune? How did you get into peace yourself?
you're asking me?
Yeah, yeah.
So you want me to tell you what I'm doing in Pune?
Yeah, and how you got so interested in peace studies? Because we've all heard about us, but we don't know about you.
Okay, so actually I'm a professor, but my subject is English, and I teach in a senior college here, and I'm a coordinator of Research Center for MPhil and PhD in English. So I'm associated with Savitribai Phule Pune University, and so actually I'm a Rotarian, and this year I'm the president of Rotary Club Chinchwad. So as a part of my professional life, I have been to more than 16 to 17 countries, presenting papers on different topics. And this is a portfolio, or what should I say? This is one of the aspects, that is peace building and conflict prevention in Rotary world. And I got attracted towards it because it can really bring out something, it can do something concrete and bring about some change in the lives of people. And that's why I got attracted towards this. And being an academician, I thought of, organizing this particular conference.
Right, right. Well, thank you.
So Pietro.
Thank you, my president. We really do appreciate you over here. Thanks a lot.
Pietro, can I say one word to you? You showed the funding requirements. I thought that your work is a very good candidate for a global grant project focused on peace. And there could be some club who is interested in being your international partner. Perhaps we'll also examine it after, get some time to reflect on it. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We'll be in touch. Sheetal, I was impressed by the rendition of that Pasaidan. I've never seen such a beautiful presentation. You made it so simple in your total presentation.
Thank you for the appreciation.
God bless your teachers. And also all the other Thomas was just too good. My God, the amount of research you have done, the amount of passion you show for your subject. I'm going to learn a lot. We'll be in touch with you and also the others, Shireen and others. Thank you very much.
Pradeep, Rotarian Pradeep, sir, he has been working on Quran for last 10 years.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Well, anyone that's interested in Quranic studies and peace, please get in touch. And our friend from Nigeria, particularly, if you're trying to do peace work between Christians and Muslims, you must get them to listen to my commentary on the Quran. It's designed for both Christians, but also for Muslims. It's a new methodological hermeneutic, to use a technical term, that I'm applying to Quranic studies. And I'll send you a link, Pietro, and spread the word in Nigeria. If anyone that listens to my commentary on the Quran will stop fighting immediately, because Islam is not about fighting. It's about finding the end of ego. Islam, the word actually means to surrender your ego to God and to reach union again with your spiritual divine nature. Which is exactly what yoga means. And it's what the premise of the Advaita Vedanta is, or Vedanta. So actually, there's been a terrible misunderstanding about Islam ever since the Prophet Muhammad died. And I've showed this in my book. This is meta-orthodoxy. So this whole thing about, if you talk about peace, you're a heretic. No, this is the actual orthodoxy of what Islam is supposed to be about. So anyway, I'll send you the link, and tell my dear brothers and sisters in Nigeria to listen to it. It's in English, and it's an audio book. All you need is an internet connection, and you can listen to it.
Okay. I can even organize a cinema on that. Please, can you post your contact on the chat room so I copy?
Yeah. I'll email you my detail. I'll send you my details.
Rotarian Pietro, he will also send, and I have, so I will share with you. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
And I just want to welcome Rotarian Fabrice. I don't know whether I am properly pronouncing him. I think you are from Burkina Faso, no? So welcome. We'll have to unmute Fabrice. Can we do it?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. So
Okay.
Was it you who asked me a question on our peace group on international fellowship?
Yeah.
Okay, finally you are here.
Yeah.
So, thank you to Asmita and thank you to Mohan, because he is district secretary for e-governance. Yes.
Thank you too.
Actually, he was not the one getting the link on our website. So he asked me a question on the international fellowship group. So thank you, Fabrice, for joining us. So sorry, you were saying something.
Yeah, thank you. It was a great presentation. I wish if we can get the presentation. I don't know if it's possible. And you also know that in Burkina Faso we speak French, so I try to to get information from you guys and to know whether it's possible, because for instance, to Pietro, I went to the website, but I see that there's no French. It's just English and Spanish. So it's a bit difficult for me to, to sensitize my fellow Rotarians on the positive peace, the work Rotary is doing in positive peace. But I hope in near future we have more information, because Burkina Faso also is facing problem like in Nigeria with Boko Haram, with terrorists. So I think there's a work to do in Burkina Faso too. So I really appreciate the project, the presentation done by Pietro. I think it's something it can be spread over the Sahel region, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, because the problem is very real and terrible.
Voilà, je peux répondre. J'habite en France. Et je suppose qu'il y a des Rotariens ici, à Paris. On peut trouver des contacts diplomates avec les Rotariens à Paris. Je peux faciliter ça, si vous voulez. Parce que la France aime l'Afrique Nord et il veut la paix là. Macron, il veut la paix en Afrique Nord. C'est très important pour nous, comme les Français. Oui, je vous assure.
Ça, c'est bien. Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup.
Oui, merci.
Yeah.
Vive la France.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for being with us. And it was really a very refreshing and enriching experience for all of us here. And we are really grateful to all of you, all the resource persons here. Thank you, Sheetal, for your refreshing performance. Thank you, Dr. Thomas, for your enlightening speech. And, my students are sending me questions and, they are sending me messages that how can they come to know about the scholarships and the grants and the projects that you are focusing. So I will be sharing, with your permission, obviously, with the research scholars, your email ID so that they can contact you. And Rotarian Pietro, you are going to be there tomorrow. And we have invited one GG grant specialist tomorrow. He is Rotarian Palmquist. So Jean is going to be there. So now how well you put yourself, or you put a question to him, or otherwise if you don't get the platform tomorrow, I'll connect you with Palmquist so that I think your search will be over. So I hope you get your partner here in this conference, and that will be the greatest achievement of this conference. So thank you, everyone. I thank Rotarian Vivek, Friends and Meet Secretary, RID 3131. Then I especially thank Rotarian Mohan, Rotarian Asmita, Rotarian Unmesh, Rotarian Charu, Rotarian Yogita, and the whole district team. Then I also thank Rotarian Pradeep. He's a Rotarian Pradeep Wag is the councillor in our district for peace building. Then I also thank the co-director Smita and the director Deva Ghorpade for being here, and thank you all of you. So I think with the permission of Rotarian Vivek, we will just close our session here. Yes,
yeah, just one quick big thank you to Shilpa Gauri and her entire team of Rotary Club of Chinchwad.